Friday, October 31st. Today on Your Morning Atlantic, the New Brunswick government is set to scrap the carbon adjuster tax in December, resulting in cheaper gas prices. Your top news headlines and today's prices just ahead.
And Halloween safety. We'll chat with the Nova Scotia RCMP about making sure trick-or-treaters have the best and safest night. That's a little later in the show.
Plus, even more ghost stories of Nova Scotia. Author Vernon Oikel will join us to chat about his latest book, which sounds like the perfect read for a dark and rainy Halloween night. All that and more coming up on the All Hallows Eve edition of Your Morning Atlantic.
Well, good morning. 6:01 on Halloween. It's October 31st and it's a Friday. Very excited to have you joining us on this Friday. Oh my gosh, it is Halloween and the last day of October, if you can believe it.
Wild.
Wild indeed.
Flew by.
Wild indeed.
Like a witch on a broom, it just flew by.
It's so true.
10 out of 10 points for you, Latavia, for that vest. That Halloween vest.
Perfect. Oh my gosh.
Perfect for the season.
Perfect. You look like we were gonna say everybody's favorite teacher. I put this choker on to try to be Halloweeny, and I don't like it. It's choking me right now. I can't get it off.
Oh no!
The choker.
It's the choker. It's a Vernon Oikel ghost story. It's the news anchor pulling on the haunted choker. So I will wrestle with it while you're doing it. Well, thank you, but it's seriously like they don't call it a choker for nothing.
Yeah. Oh boy, oh boy. Well, when it comes to people getting ready today, whether they're heading out to school or work or wherever you need to be, it sounds like you need the rain boots, you need the rain jacket, maybe even get the old sou'wester on.
I really am curious about just when the rain is coming and how much we're going to get, Latavia.
It's definitely a spooky forecast for this Halloween. We are going to see the wet weather start off. It's going to hit different places at different times. So here's a live look at Argyle Street in Halifax. You can see currently dry this morning. We will be seeing rain, at times heavy movement a little bit later on. 13 degrees though starting off your day, so a bit warmer for parts of Atlantic Canada. But be prepared if you are heading out on an early morning commute. We will be seeing precipitation begin starting off early this morning for parts of the region. As of right now, 10 degrees heading outdoors in Fredericton as well as into Charlottetown and Sydney. 16 over in Yarmouth with 4 degrees in Labrador City as well as into St. John's, Newfoundland. We do still have special weather statements holding on to parts of all 3 maritime provinces for today, and as well as rainfall warnings in effect for parts of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. We also have that wind warning remaining for Inverness County, and also seeing strong wind gusts expected for the Wreck House area in Newfoundland. Here's a look at that current system. So it's going to start off slow, reaching us, and then start to pick up and spread right across the maritime region, making it a wet Halloween day ahead. We also are going to see some moisture pulled up from Hurricane Melissa. I'll have a full breakdown on that in the full weather forecast. As of right now, we are going to see winds start to pick up already out of the south and southeast this morning. As of right now, seeing sustained wind 46 kilometers per hour in Yarmouth as well as into Lunenburg, 35 in Halifax as well as into St. John, New Brunswick. Wind gusts this morning getting up to 63 kilometers per hour in Yarmouth, 57 in Lunenburg, 61 in St. John, New Brunswick. We'll get up to 70 to 80 kilometers per hour possible. I'll have a breakdown of your long-range forecast just ahead, but first a look at your local news headlines with Amanda.
Thank you so much, Latavia. And we begin with a big increase at the pumps. Prices at the pumps overnight. In Nova Scotia Zone 1, gas increased by 4.5 cents. The minimum price now $1.40.3. Diesel increased by 1.3 cents. The minimum price now $1.66. In Prince Edward Island, gas increased by just over a cent. The minimum price now $1.45 a liter. Diesel jumped by 5.2 cents. The minimum price now $1.64.8 a liter. And in New Brunswick, gas increased by 3.4 cents. The maximum price now $1.52.1. And diesel, that surged by 9.5 cents, almost 10 cents a liter. The maximum price now $1.79 a liter. Meantime, the price New Brunswickers will pay at the gas pumps in December should be about 8 cents cheaper after a tax cut.
We made a clear commitment to remove the cost of carbon adjuster to provide real relief at the gas pumps.
Premier Susan Holt says the carbon adjuster tax will be gone starting December 1st. The tax was introduced in 2022 and passes the cost of federal clean fuel regulations for refiners and retailers onto consumers. Holt had promised during last year's election campaign to remove the tax. However, the decision does not come without criticism. Some retailers say someone's got to pay for the difference.
Thinking that you can remove 7-8 cents and that there would be no impacts on retailers is ludicrous. You know, like the cost of this regulation is real.
New Brunswick fuel retailers issued a joint statement saying this move could threaten the closure of up to 25% of gas stations, specifically those in rural areas. Holt says the Energy and Utilities Board will need to make adjustments. Nova Scotia Power is turning to technology to help fix an old problem, falling branches and trees taking down lines. The company says it will be using AI to help crews determine where and when to cut back the greenery. Information will come from high-resolution satellites orbiting the Earth.
Producing that snapshot of our entire system really enables us to focus in on those high-risk areas. So, you know, it's important to know where we need to be, but it's also equally important to know where we don't need to be.
Obviously, with our number one outage cause being trees, this just helps us be more efficient with the funds and budget that we do work with.
The power company says the $3 million project will be fully implemented next year. As Latavia mentioned, it is going to be a very wet and windy Halloween. Because of the forecast, some communities are celebrating on different days. For example, in Cape Breton, Member 2 First Nation and the village of St. Peter's moved trick-or-treating to last night. Others are providing indoor options, like at the McCurdy-Sydney Airport. Municipalities moving trick-or-treating up to Saturday include Charlottetown, Summerside, and Bathurst, to name a few. Latavia will have more details on the wet weather and when we can expect and how much after our next break. Now, as the wildfire season officially winds down, there was some well-deserved recognition for firefighters in the New Brunswick legislature. The men and women who stepped up in the firefight in an extremely challenging year received a formal thank you.
We're talking, you know, almost 2 solid months of firefighting, along with, you know, the work that comes after the fires are out. You still have to get all your equipment out.
We're very humbled to be invited here. Due to our training and preparedness level, we were able to tackle what we had, and we're able to overcome it. And slowly, like as the season now winds up, we're able to now kind of like look back and a lot of lessons learned.
438 wildfires were recorded in New Brunswick this year, burning more than 3,400 hectares of forest. The season officially ends today. Finally, a well-known Canadian had Maritimers seeing stars last night.
There you go. Live long and prosper. Thank you.
It's that man on the left. Astronaut Chris Hadfield was the star attraction at this exclusive sold-out event at Indigo Halifax and Bears Lake. Hadfield is promoting Final Orbit, the newest book in his Apollo Murder series. And Maritimers, of course, gave him a very warm welcome.
We came here to see Chris Hadfield, one of Canada's great, role models for young men and women, a man that forged the way through Canada Space Agency and made multiple trips in space.
Hadfield's next scheduled appearance is in Winnipeg, followed by Calgary, and then Vancouver. So really exciting to see him return to the region.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah, new book, What Can't He Do? Also loved the Oliver and Kevin Power, their hats.
I was impressed there, too.
The Blue Jays, oh my gosh, Blue Jays playing tonight. They could take the World Series in Toronto.
Very nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. That's so exciting. That's tonight. Ooh, wouldn't that be the ultimate treat?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, since it's Halloween, here's what's trending in creative costumes at a senior's home. You're going to love this.
What are you supposed to be?
Oh, I know this one.
Yeah, this is amazing.
Spice Girl.
What are you dressed as, Mr. Jenkins?
A jaywalker.
And what are you supposed to be, Mr. Henson?
I'm an old-timer.
Wow, Doris, what's your costume supposed to be?
Breadwinner.
Yeah. Go, Doris!
What are you, Gerald?
Oh, me? I'm someone who's always got your back.
So good. And what are you supposed to be, Mr. Andrews?
I'm a waste of time.
Oh my God!
What are you supposed to be?
There we go.
Spice Girl.
I love the
waste
waste of time. Oh my gosh, all of
my
these so good.
goodness.
Great last minute Halloween ideas and so much fun letting you know that Halloween can be fun for everybody at all ages.
Oh my
Absolutely.
gosh. Mr. Andrews.
Always got your back. I love that one.
So good. I also saw a teacher on social media being a sick, seven with like the 7 jersey.
Yeah, I don't get what that is. I don't
6'7".
understand the 6'7" thing. You'll have to explain it.
I'll explain it during the commercial break.
Yeah.
All right, still ahead. A first look at your national and international news headlines on this Friday morning. And Latavia will have the first full look at the Halloween forecast. Ooh, a spooky dark start to the morning. On Main Street in Moncton, it is quiet. We will be right back after this.
This is going to be fun.
Let's start the show.
Happy Halloween, Atlantic, Canada. The time now is 6:14. We're taking a live look at a dark start to the day over in St. John's, Newfoundland. Currently 4 degrees, so a bit chilly early this morning. We are expecting a mix of sun and cloud as the sun begins to rise, then increasing cloudiness, leaving you mainly cloudy skies for much of the day. Weather is brought to you by ALC.ca. We are seeing a warmer start to the day for parts of the Maritime region. As of right now, 11 degrees heading outdoors in Fredericton, 11 also starting off your day in Charlottetown, 13 in Halifax with 10 degrees in Sydney, 5 degrees over in Labrador City. We do still have special weather statements in effect for parts of all 3 maritime provinces. We are expecting some heavy rain and downpours, strong wind gusts as well. We do have a rainfall warning also remaining in effect for parts of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. A wind warning in effect for parts of Cape Breton Island. Could see wind gusts getting up to 120 kilometers per hour. And same thing goes for the Wreck House area across Newfoundland. Over to our forecast timeline. We are expecting rain, at times heavy from this low pressure system, weather fronts moving in. We could see moisture pulled up from Hurricane Melissa, bringing some heavier rain and downpours. So this rain will continue for most of the day. We are going to see this system start slow and then continue to move fast over to parts of Newfoundland and Labrador. Into this evening, mostly seeing into trick-or-treating hours, we will start to see a bit of clearing for western Nova Scotia into the southwestern region of New Brunswick. However, we do have another round of precipitation heading our way into Friday evening, so tonight. If you're wondering about rainfall totals, it's going to pick up. This is the rainfall that we have much needed because of the drought we've been seeing. As of right now, we're expecting around 10 to 50 millimeters for much of Nova Scotia, the heaviest being around 50 to 60 for Shelburne and Lunenburg. And then for New Brunswick, looking at around 10 to 50 millimeters being the heaviest into St. Stephen, around 20 to 30 millimeters of precipitation expected across Prince Edward Island. And then also seeing some rainfall totals for Newfoundland and Labrador. Labrador seeing around 5 to 20 millimeters of precipitation, and Newfoundland looking at around 2 to 30. Over to our forecast today for New Brunswick. We will be seeing rain, at times heavy across the province. Highs will range from 11 to 15 degrees, and wind will be picking up out of the east today. Prince Edward Island looking at rain across the island as well. 14 to 16 degrees is your daytime highs, wind gusts getting up to 60. And then for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia looking at rain as well throughout the day, wind gusts getting up to 70 kilometers per hour, and also seeing highs between 13 to 17 degrees. And then for the rest of Nova Scotia, rain at times heavy expected throughout the day, starting to clear a little bit into the early evening. Daytime highs between 17 to 18 degrees. And then for Newfoundland and Labrador, a bit of a dry start to the day, and then seeing rain move in for Labrador City with a high of 5 degrees. Into the evening, seeing snow and or rain move in, and 11 degrees for St. John's, Newfoundland, a mix of sun and cloud, seeing heavy rain move in this evening. So if you're wondering about the latest hurricane track for Hurricane Melissa, it is continuing to travel up the northeast and accelerating towards the Atlantic Canadian Marine region today. The biggest contribution, as I mentioned, from Melissa mostly comes in the form of precipitation. So we will be seeing that moisture being pulled up into our region, and it's going to continue to move northeastward. into Newfoundland waters. So we are going to see it passing close to the southeastern Avalon Peninsula. And that's going to be late tonight into early Saturday. So also going to see some heavy periods of rain, strong winds, along with heavy surf expected. So here's a closer look at what we're expecting for trick-or-treating tonight. We're expecting some wet and windy conditions, heavier rainfall. We could see some downpours, wind gusts between 50 to 80 kilometers per hour. So also suggesting secure your decorations for tonight. Here's a look at that system into Saturday. So we are expecting cloudy skies for much of the maritime region. We will be seeing a chance of showers remain for Cape Breton Island, seeing snow mixed with rain for Labrador, and into Newfoundland, still seeing some wet weather moving in. And then into our forecast for Sunday, we will start to see clouds clear, leaving a mix of sun and cloud for the most part. Still some lingering showers for Cape Breton Island, also seeing mixed precipitation for parts of Newfoundland and Labrador. That's a look at your weather forecast. Now we'll throw things over to Amanda for your national and international news headlines.
Thank you, Latavia, for keeping us informed with that. In Jamaica, emergency crews are still trying to reach some areas devastated and cut off by Hurricane Melissa. CTV's Abigail Beeman now on what Canada is doing to help.
This family fights tears, surveying damage to their home in coastal Black River.
If we had stayed, we'd have died.
While feeling fortunate to find a mattress to sleep on.
Even though they are soaking wet, but we can lean them up with the water can and drain out. If we even sit up, we will manage. We will manage.
Hurricane Melissa has killed dozens and caused massive destruction across Jamaica, Haiti, and Cuba.
Today, our government is providing $7 million in humanitarian assistance.
That promise includes $5 million for humanitarian partners providing aid such as sanitation and clean water, and $2 million for the World Food Program. The government says Canada hasn't received any requests for military or personnel help, but is ready and waiting.
We're standing with the Caribbean today, and we'll be here tomorrow to help rebuild stronger, safer, and more resilient.
We think this is going to be a little worse than what the initial reports are looking like.
Global Medic has portable water purification units and family emergency kits en route to Jamaica and is offering drone mapping services. Rahul Singh says being on an island poses additional challenges.
There's less infrastructure and less capacity for folks to go to. And then with the flooding, and then the flooding sitting there, you've got to get rid of that water.
Tonight, Hurricane Melissa batters on towards Bermuda, downgraded to a still very powerful Category 2 storm. At this point, it's forecasted to be a post-tropical storm when it passes Canada's east coast tomorrow night.
CTV's Abigail Beeman reporting. And record-breaking rain-drenched parts of New York. At least one person has died after being trapped in a flooded basement. Flash flooding and downed trees triggered commuter chaos. Water poured into New York's subway system. The conditions also made it a dangerous day for flying. Ground stops and thousands of delays stacked at some of the busiest airports across the U.S. East Coast. Across the pond, in an unprecedented move, King Charles is stripping his younger brother Andrew of his royal titles and his home over his links to the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. CTV's Joy Malbin has more.
No longer a prince, effective immediately. In a stunning palace statement, Andrew was formally stripped of his royal style, titles and honors.
I am pretty astonished, I have to say. This is the strongest action against a member of the royal family.
King Charles making the painful decision to exile his younger brother, evicting him from his royal residence, a 30-room mansion where he reportedly lived rent-free. Ex-wife Sarah Ferguson also has to move out.
He's now going to move to the Sandringham estate. That's a private estate that's owned by the King in Norfolk, and that's going to be funded by the King also.
British headlines are brutal. The royals facing growing public pressure over Andrew's ties to sex offender Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. He even hosted them at Windsor's royal mansion in 2006 after an arrest warrant had been issued for Epstein. Then there's Virginia Giuffre's new posthumous memoir, renewing claims she was sexually assaulted by Andrew as a teenager, a claim Andrew denied in that infamous BBC interview.
Categorically, I don't remember meeting her at all.
Despite continued denials, the palace says the censures against Andrew were necessary. Their Majesties wish to make clear that their thoughts and utmost sympathies have been and will remain with the victims and survivors of abuse.
This is far from over. We're still getting that steady drip, drip, drip from the Epstein files.
Andrew's daughters, Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, will keep their titles. Critics say Andrew's shocking lack of judgment left King Charles no choice. Under intense public and political scrutiny, the former prince, now the biggest name to fall in the Epstein scandal.
CTV's Joy Malbin reporting from Washington. Finally, fans are buzzing as the Toronto Blue Jays are looking for one more win to claim the World Series at home. Dodgers in LA Wednesday night to lead the Fall Classic 3-2. The lone Canadian baseball team will now try to win Game 6 tonight in order to hoist the Commissioner's Trophy in front of a sold-out crowd at Rogers Centre and millions of fans watching across the country. Team manager John Schneider says it is likely that slugger George Springer will be back in the starting lineup. A Game 7 is set for tomorrow, if necessary. Quick break. When we return, our colleagues from TSN will have your must-see moment and your business headlines. That's coming up when we return.
Just ahead this half hour, the Move Morning Chat. Today we want to know about your favorite Halloween costumes you've ever worn. Maybe it was last weekend. Maybe it was just hours ago when it's on your bedroom floor. Maybe it was years ago. We want to hear about it. We want to see your photos. That's all coming up in 15 minutes on Your Morning Atlantic.
Hey, good morning. It is Friday, October 31st. It is Halloween, and boy, it might be the type of Halloween where instead of grabbing the snowsuit like you did back in the day, you're grabbing the rain jacket.
The raincoat.
If you were dressed like a fisherman, like you are winning today.
Definitely. Southwesters would be the very trendy costume.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm curious about how much rain we're going to get and exactly when parts of the region.
Oh, we could get up to 80 millimeters expected, possibly. And wind gusts are going to be strong, getting up to around 70 to 80, could get up to 120 for Cape Breton Island. So it's going to be a wet day ahead. As of right now, it is a dark start to the day over in Antigonish. Currently 8 degrees, heading outdoors early this morning. We are expecting rain to roughly begin across parts of the Maritime region into the western region, really starting off around 8 a.m. But just be prepared for an extra long commute this morning. Be prepared for that rain as well. 11 degrees heading outdoors in Fredericton and Charlottetown. 13 early this morning in Halifax. 10 degrees in Sydney. 5 into Labrador City and 4 into St. John's, Newfoundland. Still seeing special weather statements for much of all 3 maritime provinces today. Rainfall warning remains in effect for parts of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. Seeing that wind warning in effect for Inverness County as well as into the Wreck House area for Newfoundland. Here's a look at that weather system. We'll be moving from west to east, starting off slow, picking up in traction across the maritime region throughout the day today. Could see some heavy rain and downpours with strong wind gusts. And speaking of those winds, already beginning to pick up out of the east and southeast this morning. Looking at around 52 kilometers per hour in Lunenburg, 46 into Yarmouth, 37 in St. John, New Brunswick, and 33 in North Cape. Wind gusts right now getting up to 63 in Yarmouth and Lunenburg, 54 kilometers per hour in St. John, New Brunswick, 57 in Halifax. We'll have another look at your long-range forecast coming up. But first, a look at your local news headlines with Amanda.
Thank you so much, Latavia. If you're filling up at gas pumps this morning, not only will you get soaked, you're going to be paying a lot more when you go to pay for it. In Nova Scotia, Zone 1 gas increased by 4.5 cents. The minimum price now $1.40.3. Diesel increased by 1.1 cents. The minimum diesel increased by 1.3 cents. Make that the minimum price now $1.66 in Nova Scotia. In Prince Edward Island, gas increased by just over a cent. The minimum price now $1.45 a liter. Diesel jumped by 5.2 cents on the island. The minimum price now $1.64.8 a liter. And in New Brunswick, gas increased by 3.4 cents. The maximum price $1.52.1. And diesel It surged by 9.5 cents. The maximum price there, now $1.79. Meantime, the price New Brunswickers will pay at the pumps in December should be about 8 cents cheaper after a tax cut.
We made a clear commitment to remove the cost of carbon adjuster to provide real relief at the gas pumps.
Premier Susan Holt says the carbon adjuster tax will be gone starting December 1st. The tax was introduced in 2022 and passes the cost of federal clean fuel regulations for refiners and retailers onto consumers. Holt had promised during last year's election campaign to remove the tax. However, the decision doesn't come without criticism. Retailers say someone's got to pay.
Thinking that you can remove 7-8 cents and that there would be no impacts on retailers is ludicrous. You know, like the cost of this regulation is real.
New Brunswick fuel retailers issued a joint statement saying this move could threaten the closure of up to 25% of gas stations, specifically those in rural areas. Holt says the Energy and Utilities Board will need to make adjustments. The province of Nova Scotia confirms it is in discussions with a developer and a new bid to build part of an 18-hole golf course in West Mabou Provincial Park. The same idea was rejected by the Houston government a couple of years ago, but officials say things have changed and they're open to the possibility of leasing some Crown land for the project.
It's a different place than it was 3 years ago. We have $1 billion deficit. The international trade relationships are different. So we need to be looking at opportunities, and we need to have frank discussions about what those opportunities are.
Not just the fact they're doing it for the third time, but how it's being done is not sitting well with so many people. And I find what's different this time, too, is there are a lot more people getting on board who are just so fed up that maybe didn't speak out last time, but are just so fed up.
Houston says at this point, the development is just a conversation with no formal public consultation planned. Fans are buzzing as the Toronto Blue Jays are looking for one more win to claim the World Series at home. You'll remember the Jays defeated the Dodgers in LA Wednesday night to lead the Fall Classic 3-2. The lone Canadian baseball team will now try to win Game 6 tonight in order to hoist the Commissioner's Trophy in front of a sold-out crowd at Rogers Centre and millions of fans watching across the country. Team manager John Schneider says it is likely that slugger George Springer will be back in the starting lineup. A Game 7 is set for tomorrow, if necessary. Now, as Latavia mentioned, it is going to be a very wet and windy Halloween. Because of the forecast, some communities, they're celebrating on different days. For example, in Cape Breton, Member 2 First Nation and the village of St. Peter's moved trick-or-treating to last night. Others are providing indoor options, like at the McCurdy Sydney Airport. Municipalities moving trick-or-treating to tomorrow include Charlottetown, Summerside, and Bathurst, to name a few. Finally, a new poll is showing how many Canadians will be taking part in the Halloween fun. And this also came out before the forecast came out as well, so do keep that in mind. The poll conducted on behalf of the Retail Council of Canada found 3/4 of households across the country have bought candy for the big night, and about half also bought a pumpkin. Now, when it comes to putting up new decor, the poll found 3 in 10 stocked up on decorations, while just 1/4 bought a costume this year.
Amazing.
Some Halloween facts for you.
Yeah, it's going to be a big night tonight. We won't let, well, at first, it will be a big night tonight in some communities because things have been changed in other communities.
Yes, exactly.
We have the details on our website. Just looking up ticket prices for tonight's game, I thought you guys might want to come with me.
Okay.
I'm just doing a loose, very loose. It looks like about $2,000 a ticket is the going rate right now. So
if you can get it.
Well, this is just like what I saw on the web. So I don't know. That's
interesting.
That's a lot, but
yeah.
Yeah, maybe a present for yourself.
Yeah.
Still ahead.
Trick or treat.
Trick or treat. Send me to the Jays. Send me to the World Series. Okay, we have your entertainment headlines, the latest on the rain, and also the Move Morning Chat. We're asking your favorite Halloween costume that you've ever worn, whether it was a kid, whether it was recently. We want to hear about it. And text us your photos, 10400. We'll have the conversation next.
Wet weather has begun. It's a wet start to the day over in St. John, New Brunswick. Welcome back. The time now is 6:42. It's a warm start to the day, though, 12 degrees in your area. You may want to allot some extra time out on your morning commute, though, and don't forget your rain gear when heading out. Another warmer start to the day for parts of the region, at least. A bit cooler for other parts of Atlantic Canada. As of right now, 11 degrees heading outdoors in Fredericton as well as into Charlottetown. 13 degrees this morning in Halifax with 10 in Sydney, 16 in Yarmouth, 5 degrees over in Labrador City, 7 into Happy Valley Goose Bay, and 4 into St. John's, Newfoundland. Still have special weather statements in effect for much of the maritime region. This is for today. Looking at some heavy rain and downpours at around 25 to 40 plus millimeters expected. Wind gusts around 70 to 80 kilometers per hour. Could be even higher than that. Rainfall warnings also in effect for parts of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, with a wind warning in effect for parts of Cape Breton Island, Inverness County. Looking at wind gusts could get up to 120 kilometers per hour. Same thing goes for the Wreck House area in Newfoundland. Over to our forecast timeline. We are seeing showers start off a little bit earlier than we expected. So rain at times heavy. You can see here indicated in the yellow. That's where we're going to see those heavier downpours. This will carry into the afternoon. Into the early evening, we'll start to see some clearing at around the time you go trick-or-treating for parts of western Nova Scotia and western New Brunswick. And then into overnight hours, we will be seeing another low track across, bringing rain into our evening forecast as well. If you're wondering about the precipitation totals, we are going to see some heavier rainfall expected at around 10 to 50 millimeters for much of Nova Scotia, getting around 50 to 60 for Shelburne and Lunenburg. That's going to be the heaviest estimated. And for New Brunswick, we're looking at around 10 to 50 millimeters expected, the heaviest into St. Stephen, 20 to 30 millimeters across Prince Edward Island. Also seeing totals accumulate for Newfoundland and Labrador. Labrador looking at around 5 to 20 millimeters of precipitation. And for Newfoundland, looking at around 5 to 30 millimeters. Over to our forecast today for New Brunswick. We are seeing above seasonal daytime highs today, 11 to 15 degrees. Rain at times heavy across the province today with wind gusts getting up to 60 kilometers per hour. Daytime highs for Prince Edward Island, 14 to 16 degrees, and also seeing rain across the island today. And then for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, wet weather for you as well. We're looking at highs between 13 to 17 degrees and wind gusts of up to 70 kilometers per hour. And then for the rest of Nova Scotia, highs between 17 to 18 degrees, rain at times heavy throughout the day today. And then for Newfoundland and Labrador, we are going to see periods of rain for Labrador City with a high of 5 degrees into the evening, seeing snow and or rain move in. And a high of 11 degrees for St. John's, Newfoundland, seeing sunshine early in the morning, then mainly cloudy skies into the evening, rain at times heavy expected. Here's to the latest forecast track for Hurricane Melissa. It is continuing to travel up the northeast and accelerating towards Atlantic Canadian marine region today. So as it reaches our marine waters, we could see moisture pulled up from one of our weather fronts, creating more moisture, so heavier rain and downpours expected, rather. And the biggest contribution we are going to see over into Newfoundland is passing close to the southeastern Avalon Peninsula, so we also will see some periods of heavy rain, strong winds, along with heavy surf expected. So for today, for trick-or-treating, we are looking at wet and windy conditions. Keep that in mind if you are heading out tonight. Also secure your decorations. Wind gusts will be picking up around 50 to 80 kilometers per hour for much of the maritime region. For our Saturday forecast, we are seeing a cloudier day ahead. A chance of showers continues for parts of Cape Breton Island. And then for Labrador, looking at snow and or rain across the province. For Newfoundland, we are expecting showers to continue for parts of that province as well. Into Sunday's forecast, we'll start to see those clouds clear out of the maritime region, leaving a mix of sun and cloud for the most part. Still holding on to a chance of some scattered showers for Cape Breton. And for Labrador, looking at snow and or showers and seeing some isolated showers expected for parts of Newfoundland. That's a look at your weather forecast. We'll throw things over to the Move Morning Chat. It's that time once again for the Move Morning Chat. And this morning, we're talking about the best Halloween costume you've ever worn. Erin, Peter, take it away. Tell us.
Okay, well, I do have a favorite, and it was last year I dressed up as Maddie Matheson. If you don't know Maddie Matheson, I mean, he's a maritimer. He was born in St. John, New Brunswick. He is a world-famous chef, actor, producer, and I just think he's so funny. The thing is that he's covered head to toe in tattoos.
Yes.
So I literally took like 3 hours tattooing everything to look like him. But it was my favorite costume of all time. I just love him.
That's
and Maddie's
awesome.
on the bear, right?
Yeah, he's on the bear. Yeah.
Listen,
favorite costumes. Aaron and I dress up every year, and we've had some awesome costumes. We are Teletubbies this year. In the past, we've been, Mario and Princess Peach. We've been characters from Stranger Things, among others. But I want to shout out somebody over at CTV who last year decided, along with her husband, to go out for Halloween as Aaron and Peter.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that was an iconic one.
Oh, that was Katie.
Kelly.
That was such a good costume.
They look great.
Oh, yeah.
So good.
Yeah, we for many, many years, my kids are a little bit too old now, but we always dressed up as a family costume. We had the Addams Family one year, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Another one I really loved was, Scooby-Doo. That may be my favorite.
That's awesome. Yeah, we definitely have started that tradition too with our kids. They don't even know it yet, but we're having a blast. Kyle and I think some of our favorites would be when we dressed up as Ghostbusters.
Good.
That was a lot of fun. I've done a couple of zombies, but I think my family one last year was Trick or Treat, and this year it's Halloween Town.
Yeah, that's fun.
Oh,
my
so
gosh.
much fun.
Can't wait to see the pictures. As a kid, I'll tell you a fun story. When I was a kid, I made a Winnie the Pooh costume, very elaborate with a paper mache head. It was awesome. But then I got the chicken pox, and it was between about grade 2 and 3 kind of thing. And so the next Halloween, I decided to just use it again, but it was not the same. I was kind of too old for it. Yeah. And the costume was a little bit too small. But what can you do?
I thought you were going to go out with the chicken pox in your costume.
That's what I thought too, yeah.
Reverse trick-or-treat and give every other person the chicken pox. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, this is a fun one. We're going to weigh in with our viewers right now. What was your favorite Halloween costume you've ever worn? Send us some photos. Text us at 10400. We'll have a fun roundup at the end of the show.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
Welcome back. The time now is 6:52, and one of the best parts of Halloween is seeing households go all out with the decorations.
We hear there are lots of scary setups in and around the city of St. John, so we sent CTV's Avery McRae to investigate.
There are those who still elect to put out a simple pumpkin when it comes to Halloween. Others blow up the odd inflatable or plug in an animatronic or two. But around St. John, more and more houses are fully investing in the Halloween hype. What do you think about this all?
I like it.
What was your favorite part of the whole thing?
The skeleton. The thing that's downstairs in that.
We definitely didn't have anything like this when we were kids.
No.
It's awesome for the kids and awesome for the owners of the home that they would put this on for the community.
From ghastly graveyards to spooky spider webs, the amount of people hanging up haunting Halloween displays is growing. One of the port city's original scenes lies on the east side of the end of Welly Court, better known to locals as Dead End Driveway.
I love it so much because I always wanted to be that house. Always. Just from when I was a kid.
This driveway display features all the classic horror movie icons from It, Jaws, and even Chucky. Some are bought from stores while other sets are built from scratch. The hype for Halloween isn't exclusive to St. John. From the extensive haunted chapel flash display in St. Martin's all the way to this bone-chilling property in Riverview. There is no shortage of places to get your fix of screams and scares before October 31st.
At times it can be a lot of work. Putting it out takes a lot of time, takes pretty near 2 days. But building it is fun. I enjoy it. It kind of gives me peace.
The biggest reason that we do it really is just to see the smiles on the kids' faces, and even adults. We have grown adults that just come through without children that love it, and it just it makes you feel like a kid again.
To see it grow and see all the laughs and scares and so it is a thank you to the community for doing it as well.
And with less than a week until Halloween night, there is still plenty of time to see the tricks and treats for yourself. Avery McRae, CTV News, St. John.
Did that couple know that there were a couple sharks behind them? You better watch out. All right, happening now in local news. Prices at the pumps increased quite a bit overnight. This as the whole government promises a tax pump relief in December that will save New Brunswickers about 8 cents a litre. We'll have those numbers coming up. Plus, it is a very wet and windy Halloween. Some communities have moved trick-or-treating due to safety and comfort concerns. Plus, Game 6 of the World Series is tonight in Toronto. The Blue Jays could win it all if they defeat the Dodgers. An exciting time to be in Canada. Those details coming up in your local news headlines. But first, it is a look at the 3-day forecast with Latavia, with very wet and windy weather today, and then the start of November already this weekend.
Wild, Amanda. All right, we're taking a look at the Halloween forecast for New Brunswick. Rain at times heavy across the province today with a high of 14 degrees. On Saturday, mainly cloudy skies, but we do have some scattered showers continuing with a high of 10. Really cooling down on Sunday, a high of 7 degrees. We're looking at some sunshine for much of the province, but into the north, seeing isolated showers as clocks fall back. For Nova Scotia today on Halloween, we're looking at a high of 16 degrees. Rain at times heavy across the province. And then on Saturday, a high of 10, mainly cloudy skies with some scattered showers expected for parts of the province. And then on Sunday, a high of 7, scattered showers for Cape Breton Island. Prince Edward Island looking at a high of 16 with rain across the island. Wet weather continues on Saturday with a high of 10. 8 degrees on Sunday as clocks fall back. Scattered showers remain across the island. That's a look at your weather forecast. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
It's Friday, October 31st. Today on Your Morning Atlantic, the New Brunswick government is set to scrap the carbon adjuster tax in December, resulting in cheaper gas prices. Your top news headlines and today's prices just ahead.
And spectacular safety tips for being visible to checking candy. RCMP joins us with advice to ensure trick-or-treaters have a fun Halloween night. That's in the next 30 minutes on CTV's Your Morning Atlantic.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada. We are having a blast on this Halloween. So much more to come on this show, and we can't wait to share it with you.
Including costumes.
Yay, yes, our last hour. We're going to kind of get all out for Halloween. So if you can stick around until then, we'll all have a little mini Halloween party. Earlier on the set, Donna, we love Donna. She was playing the Monster Mash and other Halloween hits, and you brought in those delicious pumpkin cheesecake cupcakes earlier today. Just felt like a grade school Halloween party, and I was loving it so much.
Oh, I love that too. Well, and coming up too, Suzette Beliveau is here. She's providing some snacks courtesy of Chris Brothers.
Anyway, join us at the 8 o'clock hour. We have treats for everyone, and you can join our little in-studio Halloween party.
Can't wait.
In-studio is the key thing, because the rain is going to start any second in our region.
That it is, Crystal. We are actually seeing rain already move in for parts of the region. We were estimating around 8 o'clock. That is not the case. You can see here in our live eye over in Lunenburg, a bit of a wet start to the day. So starting off with a chance of showers, rain will be picking up. Rain at times heavy as well as wind gusts. So keep this in mind. When you are heading out early this morning, you will want to allot some extra time out on your morning commute. 13 degrees in your area right now. So it is a bit of a warmer start to the end of the work week. 11 degrees in Fredericton this morning as well as into Charlottetown. 13 degrees starting off your day in Halifax. 10 in Sydney. 5 degrees in Labrador City and 4 into St. John's, Newfoundland. Still holding on to those special weather statements in effect for much of the Maritime region, and also rainfall warnings for parts of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. We do have that wind warning still remaining for parts of Cape Breton Island, as well as into the Wreck House area of Newfoundland. Over to our satellite and radar, you can see this low-moving, low-pressure system. It is going to pick up speed and move right across the Maritime region, making it a wet Halloween day ahead, a wet and windy day ahead, really. And because of that, already seeing wind gusts pick up for the Maritime region. As of right now, 52 kilometers per hour in Lunenburg, 39 in Yarmouth, 37 kilometers per hour for St. John, New Brunswick, 35 in Canso. Wind gusts as of right now getting up to 63 kilometers per hour in Lunenburg, 61 in both Yarmouth and St. John, New Brunswick, and 44 in Canso. We'll have another look at your long-range forecast just ahead, but first a look at your local news headlines with Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. And we began with a big increase at the pumps overnight. In Nova Scotia, Zone 1, gas increased by 4.5 cents. The minimum price now $1.40.3. And diesel increased by 1.3 cents. The minimum price now $1.66. In Prince Edward Island, gas jumped by just over a cent. The minimum price now $1.45 a litre. And diesel jumped by 5.2 cents. The minimum price $1.64.8. And in New Brunswick, gas increased by 3.4 cents. The maximum price $1.52.1. And diesel surged by nearly 10 cents a litre. It's up by 9.5 cents. The maximum price $1.79. Meantime, the price New Brunswickers will pay at the pumps in December should be about 8 cents cheaper for gas after a tax cut.
We made a clear commitment to remove the cost of carbon adjuster to provide real relief at the gas pumps.
Premier Susan Holt says the carbon adjuster tax will be gone starting December 1st. The tax was introduced in 2022 and passes the cost of federal clean fuel regulations for refiners and retailers onto consumers. Holt had promised during last year's election campaign to remove the tax. However, the decision doesn't come without criticism. Retailers say someone has to pay.
Thinking that you can remove 7-8 cents and that there would be no impacts on retailers is ludicrous. You know, like the cost of this regulation is real.
New Brunswick fuel retailers issued a joint statement saying this move could threaten the closure of up to 25% of gas stations, especially in rural areas. Holt says the Energy and Utilities Board will need to make adjustments. As Latavia mentioned, it is going to be a very wet and windy Halloween. Because of the forecast, some communities are celebrating on different days. For example, in Cape Breton, Membertou First Nation and the village of St. Peter's moved trick-or-treating to last night. Others are providing indoor options like at Legion's and also at the McCurdy Sydney Airport. Municipalities moving trick-or-treating to Saturday include Charlottetown, Summerside and Bathurst, to name a few. As the wildfire season officially winds down, there was some well-deserved recognition for firefighters in the New Brunswick legislature. The men and women who stepped up in the firefight in an extremely challenging year received a formal thank you.
We're talking, almost 2 solid months of firefighting, along with, the work that comes after the fires are out. You still have to get all your equipment out.
We're very humbled to be invited here. Due to our training and preparedness level, we were able to tackle what we had, and we're able to overcome it. And slowly, as the season now winds up, we're able to now kind of look back and a lot of lessons learned.
438 wildfires were recorded in New Brunswick this year, burning more than 3,400 hectares of forest. The season officially ends today. An out-of-this-world experience in Halifax last night.
There you go. Live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper. To the left there, astronaut Chris Hadfield was the star attraction at this exclusive sold-out event at Indigo Halifax in Bears Lake. Hadfield is in the region promoting Final Orbit, the newest book in his Apollo Murders series. Maritimers, of course, gave him a very warm welcome.
We came here to see Chris Hadfield, one of Canada's great, role models for young men and women, a man that forged a way through Canada Space Agency and made multiple trips in space.
Hadfield's next scheduled appearance is in Winnipeg, followed by Calgary and then Vancouver. Finally, we know Halloween is today, but we want to share this with you. Nova Scotia's Tree for Boston has been chosen. Wow. Clark, would you get a look at that?
It's beautiful.
I know, 13.7 meters or 45 feet. It's a white spruce. It's coming from Lunenburg County. It was nominated by the former property owners, Ronald and Claire Feener. They planted the tree. There's the two. They planted the tree over 40 years ago. So it's going to be cut on the morning of Wednesday, November 12th in Martins Brook. There's always a big ceremony. And then the tree lighting ceremony will take place in Boston on Thursday, December 4th. That's always in the Boston Common. Of course, every holiday season, province of Nova Scotia sends a tree to Boston as a thank you for their help following the Halifax explosion back in 1917.
Oh my gosh, it's so perfect.
Oh my goodness.
Nature made a beautiful tree.
And apparently the couple said, this tree would be perfect. It would be perfect. So they were the former property owners, so they've since moved. When talked to the current property owners, they were like, absolutely.
Thank you all for making it possible. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to follow the journey. And that's the day after Remembrance Day, so we can really get into the Christmas spirit.
Oh yeah,
my
that's
gosh,
when I decorate my house.
I am taking the day off work. I'm going to be at the ceremony. Oh my gosh.
Very cool.
Very exciting. Okay, this holiday season, follow the Yellow Brick Road to the Wizard of Oz at Neptune Theatre. It's on stage November 4th to January 4th, and this family-friendly musical features your favorite songs from the classic movie. Let's look at some photos to check it out. Ooh, there it is. There's some photos. There's Dorothy and Toto. Yeah, so this is coming up. It starts next week. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. It's going to offer all kinds of, it's going to be a wickedly fun experience. The show is a direct stage adaptation of the classic movie. It's been winning the hearts of audiences since '87. Cape Breton's based Michelle Langell is the director. And then we have the Shadow, the dog is Toto. So we have a couple, there we go. It's a real dog. And it's mostly an East Coast cast. So if you're seeing Wicked for good, be sure to catch The Wizard of Oz first so you're refreshed on both sides of the story. So experience the magic of Oz. Ticket prices start at $40, which is very reasonable because it's going to be an incredible experience. We put the link to NeptuneTheatre.com on our website, but book your tickets fast because they're selling faster than a flying monkey. But not as scary as one.
No, no, absolutely. All right, so still ahead on this Friday, we're going to have our latest look at your national news headlines coming up. Latavia has more details on the very wet Halloween forecast. And here is a live look at those wet conditions. Good morning to you, Yarmouth. The sun is just starting to come up. Latavia has the forecast after this.
Welcome back. The time now is 7:13. We're taking a live look at a beautiful start to the day over in Port de Grave. Although it is cooler this morning, 4 degrees. Heading outdoors, we will be seeing a bit of sunshine before increasing cloudiness into the afternoon. Weather is brought to you by ALC.ca. A bit of a warmer start to the day for much of Atlantic Canada. As of right now, 11 degrees heading outdoors in Fredericton as well as into Moncton and Charlottetown. 13 degrees in Halifax, 10 in Sydney, 7 degrees over in Happy Valley Goose Bay, and 4 degrees over in Gander. We do still have special weather statements in effect for parts of all 3 maritime provinces, expecting heavy rain and downpours, as well as a rainfall warning in effect for parts of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. Wind warning also remains in effect for Inverness County. Could see wind gusts getting up to 120 kilometers per hour. Same thing goes for the Wreck House area over in Newfoundland. Here's a look at this current system. We have a low pressure system, weather fronts heading our way already, beginning this wet weather early in the morning. Keep that in mind when you are heading out. You may want to allot some extra time out on your morning commute, as well as bring your rain gear. You're going to need it. We are going to see this rain, you can see indicated in yellow. That's the heaviest of the downpours expected. Slow moving and then quite moving fast into the evening hours. As around the time we go trick-or-treating, we are going to see a bit of clearing for parts of New Brunswick, western Nova Scotia. But we do have another system wrapping around behind it, bringing more wet weather our way, looking at a chance of showers into the evening hours. So if you're wondering about the precipitation totals, the heaviest around 10 to 50 millimeters for much of Nova Scotia. We could see 50 to 60 for parts of Nova Scotia as well for Shelburne and Lunenburg. Around New Brunswick, we're looking at around 10 to 50 millimeters as well, and 20 to 30 across Prince Edward Island. Also seeing rainfall totals for Newfoundland and Labrador. Labrador seeing around 5 to 20 millimeters expected, and 2 to 30 millimeters across Newfoundland. Over to our forecast today for New Brunswick. Wet weather ahead, rain at times heavy. Highs between 11 to 15 degrees as your daytime highs, being warmest over in Moncton at 16. For Newfoundland, Prince Edward Island, rather, looking at 14 to 16 degrees for our rainfall. We're looking at rain at times heavy into the afternoon. And then for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, highs will range from 13 to 18 degrees. Also seeing rain throughout your day. And rain at times heavy for the rest of Nova Scotia. Highs between 17 to 18 and wind gusts getting up to 70 kilometers per hour. For Newfoundland and Labrador, also seeing wet weather today. Rain expected, a high of 6 degrees in Labrador City. Evening snow and or rain moving in. And a high of 11 degrees for St. John, seeing a mix of sun and cloud before increasing cloudiness. Rain at times heavy moving into the evening. Now for our latest on Hurricane Melissa, currently tracking as a Category 1 hurricane, will make its way over as a post-tropical storm as it slowly passes the maritime region. The only thing we're considering pulling from Hurricane Melissa is the fact that moisture could be pulled up from one of our weather fronts, bringing heavier rain and downpours our way. Also moving towards the northeastward region of Newfoundland, we could see For the Avalon Peninsula, some heavier downpours as well, and heavy surf is expected. So we'll take a look at our current conditions we're expecting for trick-or-treating. Keep in mind wet and extremely windy conditions today. We will be seeing a bit of clearing, but also going to see a chance of showers return. And wind gusts getting up to 50 to 80 kilometers per hour. So for our forecast on Saturday, most of that precipitation clears out of the Maritime region, still holding on to some lingering showers for parts of Cape Breton Island. For Newfoundland and Labrador, though, mixed precipitation expected for much of those provinces. And for our forecast on Sunday, clouds begin to clear out, leaving a bit more sunshine in our forecast for parts of the Maritime region, still holding on to a bit of precipitation for Cape Breton Island, and parts of Newfoundland and Labrador still seeing mixed precipitation expected. That's a look at your weather forecast. We'll throw things over to Amanda for your national and international news headlines.
Thank you, Latavia. Time is 7:16. King Charles has stripped his brother Prince Andrew of his remaining royal titles and evicted him from his residence. The move follows growing pressure over Andrew's ties to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. British historian George Cross says Buckingham Palace is trying to distance the monarchy from Andrew's scandals. The former royal will now be simply known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. Earlier this month, he surrendered his title, Duke of York, amid renewed allegations tied to Epstein victim Virginia Giuffre, whose memoir was published last week. Canadians are getting a look at the South Korean contender to replace Canada's aging submarine fleet. CTV's Judy Trin has more on just how vital it's becoming to get Canadian subs, new Canadian subs, in the water.
This is Hanwha's KSS-3 submarine, launched into the sea just in time for the Prime Minister's visit. Mark Carney climbed down 7 meters to check out what the South Koreans want Canada to buy.
I told him you can build a submarine in 6 years.
The Royal Canadian Navy needs to begin replacing its aging fleet by 2035. Of its 4 submarines, only 1 is operational, the others in maintenance.
It's the only technology in the Navy that guarantees that we control our waters. We get to say who comes into our waters, and if they don't have our permission, then we can keep them out.
Hanwha uses robot technology to build its submarines, which will cost about $2 billion each. It's competing with a German-Norwegian venture. Carney toured TKMS over the summer. Its state-of-the-art vessel is still in production. During a visit to Ottawa last week, the CEO didn't provide a cost estimate.
And of course, we will calculate on a base what the customer wants to have, which capabilities should the submarine have. So for us, I think it's too early to shout out a price range.
The Navy wants to buy 12 new submarines. The successful bid must also benefit Canada.
The factors like industrial benefits for the country, the use of Canadian inputs, materials like steel, the timeliness of the delivery of a submarine, for example, will be important for us.
The federal government says it will choose the winning submarine contractor in 2026, but it could happen earlier. Judy Trin, CTV News, Koje, South Korea.
Thank you, Judy. A quick break here on Your Morning Atlantic. When we return, we'll be talking about Halloween safety tips from the RCMP. That's coming up next. Stay with us.
Move Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Weekday mornings on Move 100. The most fun in the morning. And home of the $1,000 minute. Only on Move 100 Halifax.
Welcome back at 7:23, and it's Halloween. And although some communities have moved celebrations to Saturday, many children will brave the wind and rain to go trick-or-treating tonight. Regardless of when the costumed kids go door knocking, it's important to keep safety top of mind so all ghouls and goblins have a good time. Here with more is Nova Scotia RCMP Public Information Officer Corporal Carly McCann. Happy Halloween, Carly.
Good morning and happy Halloween to you too.
Thank you so much. Now you've brought in some gear. You're even wearing a glow stick.
Yes.
Let's talk about keeping kids safe this Halloween. What do we need to know about being visible?
Being visible is so important on Halloween as we're out trick-or-treating, going door to door, crossing streets and being out on the roads in some neighborhoods where we might not usually expect to have kids out. It's particularly important to be visible, to be bright, using things like glow sticks, maybe reflective bags or reflective hats or reflective parts of your costumes for trick-or-treating. And I think that's going to be particularly important this year. We're expecting that the night might be a little bit more dark and dreary than we usually have at Halloween. So
the wetness too. And I think that's all. Well, you brought this glow stick for me. I'm on the struggle bus with it, but thank you. Yeah, and the other thing I think just in general is tonight, because of the wind and rain, visibility is going to be not as strong. And so we want to make sure that we are slow in any kind of residential areas, driving slowly, looking for trick-or-treaters.
That is particularly important for people who are going to be out driving. It's not just about the kids and the adults with them who are trick-or-treating. We need everyone who's going to be on the roads driving to be eyes on the roads at all times, paying attention to what's going on around you outside of the vehicle.
Absolutely.
So put the phone away. Have a safe and sober ride if you're going to be drinking or using cannabis or anything like that tonight. And if you don't need to be out on the roads during the prime trick-or-treating hours, maybe consider putting off your errands until a bit later.
Perfect. Yes, Carly's colleagues are going to be out tonight making sure that the children are safe, and that includes getting impaired drivers giving the treatment that they deserve. So let's take a look at the kids in costumes right now. What do people need to know about dressing their kids safely in costumes?
Well, a costume like that, we can see it's nice and bright and white and got some lights on the basket there. That was fantastic. Anything that's going to make you stand out and be visible is very important. If you have something that, again, is going to be reflective, if you have something that is going to light up, that can really help you be visible. But it's also important to be in areas that are bright themselves. Crossing at crosswalks is important, at marked crosswalks, because that is where people expect to see people on the road. Being in areas that do have sidewalks where that's possible, and staying off to the side of the road. And crossing at intersections, it can be important as well, rather than crisscrossing back and forth. We want to keep kids off the roads where the cars are going to actually be driving as much as possible.
Okay, with the costumes too, we didn't mention masks and weapons. I think it's important that kids are really that they're able to see when they're out, so masks might not be the best idea, or masks with big holes for the eyes. But what about weapons, toy weapons?
If kids that you're going to be trick-or-treating with are going to be using any type of toy weapon as part of their costume, it needs to be visible and obvious that it is a toy. So the foam type swords and things like that can be important. Things that are just visibly not going to be dangerous to other people. And of course, things that aren't going to be dangerous to them as well. So you don't want to have a kid with a prop that's going to potentially injure them as they're out trick-or-treating. So that is an important consideration as well.
And then finally, examining the children's treats. Let's talk about that one more minute.
Yeah. The vast majority of people who are giving out candy, of course, are doing it because they want kids to have a fun and safe Halloween. It's very, very rare for there to be any type of thing that's going to be purposely dangerous to kids when they're trick-or-treating. However, it's still important for adults to have a look at their kids' candy to make sure that it's going to be safe for them. So it hasn't been opened, it hasn't been damaged, it hasn't been gotten dirty, and it's not going to be something that causes an allergic reaction or something that's personally going to be dangerous for your children. So have a look and have your kids think about that as you're trick-or-treating.
And shout out to that family. They had the glow stick on the table as well, so they were safe. Anything else you need our viewers to know before we go?
We just want everyone to have a safe night. And again, keep in consideration what the weather is going to be like while you're trick-or-treating. If your community has pushed it until tomorrow, make sure that you're looking at the regulations and the rules and the guidelines that are being put in place in the communities where you live too.
All right. Well, happy Halloween to you.
Happy Halloween.
Corporal Carly McCann. All right. We are going to take a break. We'll be back with more CTV Morning Live right after this.
It's okay, Crystal. We're just going to look at the 3-day. For today, we're looking at a high of 14 degrees and seeing for New Brunswick rain at times heavy across the province. On Saturday, mainly cloudy for the most part. We do still have some lingering scattered showers. and into Sunday. 7 degrees as clocks fall back. Looking at a mix of sun and cloud, we do have some isolated showers returning for the northern region. Nova Scotia looking at rain, at times heavy on Halloween today as well. 16 degrees is your daytime high. On Saturday, looking at a high of 10, we do have scattered showers for parts of the province. On Sunday, cloudy skies for the most part. We will be seeing some scattered showers remain as clocks fall back in Cape Breton Island. Prince Edward Island looking at a high of 16. Rain today. On Saturday, wet weather continues with a high of 10 and 8 degrees on Sunday. Scattered showers as the clocks fall back.
Coming up in this half hour, we're talking sandwiches, are we? No. Creepy culinary delights is set in the kitchen with the spooky themed snacks from partners at Chris Brothers. That's coming up this half hour. Good morning. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to your text. If you have not sent us a text yet at 10400, send us a text. We're talking about Halloween costumes. I got my phone here right now. We've already received messages from Karen, Shannon, Tracy, Monica. Send us your text messages, 10400. You can do it while I'm doing my newscast. I'll give you permission. I'll come back and I'll check to see who has sent us a message. We want to hear about your favorite Halloween costume that you have worn, and please send us a photo.
Yes, please.
We'll share it later in the show. Don't be shy. I got my phone here. I'm going to put it down for a second. Do the news, come back, see who sent a message.
We love it. Okay.
Yeah.
You're up, lady. What are we looking at weather-wise? Rain at times heavy, moving in, strong gusty winds for the region as well. Keep this in mind when you are heading out early this morning, already seeing precipitation track across parts of the maritime region, starting off early this morning. Here's a live look at Moncton, 11 degrees early this morning. Not really seeing any precipitation at your part of the province yet, but we will be seeing this system move from west to east right across the maritime region throughout the day, so keep that in mind. You will want your rain gear before heading out as well. A bit of a warmer start to the day to end off the work week. 10 degrees in Fredericton, 11 in Charlottetown, with 13 starting off in Halifax, 10 in Sydney, and 4 degrees over in St. John's, Newfoundland. Special weather statements remain in effect for parts of all 3 maritime provinces. For parts of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, we do still have rainfall warnings and a wind warning in effect for parts of Cape Breton Island and parts of Newfoundland. Here's a look at our satellite and radar. You can see that system, as I mentioned, rain at times heavy. We could see some downpours as well, and this will move right across the maritime region, so going to be a wet Halloween ahead. And wind already picking up for parts of the Maritimes. As of right now, we are seeing sustained wind, 59 kilometers per hour in Lunenburg, 39 in Yarmouth, 44 in Halifax, 43 in St. John, New Brunswick. Wind gusts getting up to 69 kilometers per hour right now in Lunenburg, 61 in Halifax, 56 over in St. John, New Brunswick. We'll have a look at your long-range forecast just ahead, but first a look at your local news headlines with Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. We begin with a big increase at the pumps overnight. Big price increase. In Nova Scotia Zone 1, gas increased by 4.5 cents. The minimum price now $1.40.3. Diesel increased by 1.3 cents. The minimum price now $1.66. In PEI, gas increased by just over a cent. The minimum price now $1.45 a liter. Diesel jumped by 5.2 cents. The minimum price $1.64.8. And in New Brunswick, gas increased by 3.4 cents. The maximum price $1.52.1, and diesel surged by 9.5 cents. The maximum price $1.79 a liter. And the price New Brunswickers will pay at the gas pumps in December should be about 8 cents cheaper following a tax cut.
We made a clear commitment to remove the cost of carbon adjuster to provide real relief at the gas pumps.
Premier Susan Holt says the carbon adjuster tax will be gone starting December 1st. The tax was introduced in 2022 and passes the cost of federal clean fuel regulations for refiners and retailers onto consumers. Holt had promised during last year's election campaign to remove the tax. However, the decision doesn't come without criticism. Retailers say someone's got to pay the difference.
Thinking that you can remove 7-8 cents and that there would be no impacts on retailers is ludicrous. You know, like the cost of this regulation is real.
New Brunswick fuel retailers issued a joint statement saying this move could threaten the closure of up to 25% of gas stations, especially in rural areas. Susan Holt says the Energy and Utilities Board will need to make adjustments. Nova Scotia Power is turning to technology to help fix an old problem, falling branches and trees taking down lines. The company says it will be using AI to help crews determine where and when to cut back the greenery. Information will come from high-resolution satellites orbiting the Earth.
Producing that snapshot of our entire system really enables us to focus in on those high-risk areas. So, it's important to know where we need to be, but it's also equally important to know where we don't need to be.
Obviously, with our number one outage cause being trees, this just helps us be more efficient with the funds and budget that we do work with.
The power company says the $3 million project will be fully implemented next year. The province of Nova Scotia confirms it's in discussions with the developer and a new bid to build part of an 18-hole golf course in West Mabou Provincial Park. The same idea was rejected by the Houston government a couple of years ago, but officials say things have changed and they're open to the possibility of leasing some Crown land for the project.
It's a different place than it was 3 years ago. We have $1 billion deficit. The international trade relationships are different. So we need to be looking at opportunities, and we need to have frank discussions about what those opportunities are.
Not just the fact they're doing it for the third time, but how it's being done is not sitting well with so many people. And I find what's different this time, too, is there are a lot more people getting on board who are just so fed up that maybe didn't speak out last time, but are just so fed up.
Houston says at this point, the development is just a conversation with no formal public consultation planned. Fans buzzing as the Toronto Blue Jays are looking for one more win to claim the World Series at home. Defeated the Dodgers in LA Wednesday night to lead the Fall Classic 3-2. The lone Canadian baseball team will now try to win Game 6 tonight in order to hoist the Commissioner's Trophy in front of a sold-out crowd at Rogers Centre and millions of fans watching across the country. Team manager John Schneider says it is likely that slugger George Springer will be back in the starting lineup. The Game 7 is set for tomorrow, if necessary. Finally, a farm near LA was buzzing with life as people flocked to pick up bright marigolds ahead of the traditional Mexican Day of the Dead. Marigolds are known in Mexico as the flower of the dead. Families craft altars to honor the dead, often adorned with the flowers. And the Day of the Dead is celebrated on November 1st and 2nd, which of course is tomorrow. November tomorrow.
Marigolds. There's a flower that doesn't get as much attention as it needs, you know? I love marigolds. Those are the big ones. Okay, we're getting a note from the control room about ferries for Marine Atlantic being canceled. Can you tell us more? All crossings to Newfoundland canceled for today. And Wood Island PEI back and forth also canceled. So that's important news that you should know is coming in now. Yeah. All right, friend of the show, Andrew. Remember he was here last week?
Yes.
Yes, moved to Saskatchewan from Ukraine and decided to tour to our region. Well, he's revealed his Halloween costume. It's pretty good.
Sorry, I cannot hear you. I'm kind of busy.
At first, I thought he was something else, and I was like, you know what? This is on brand.
If you've seen the videos, he tried a McCain cake, and at first he wasn't sure if he liked it, and then next thing you know, the whole cake was gone. He realized this is his new favorite thing. So he's become friends with McCain, actually, and from our region, of course, and there he is as a deep and delicious cake.
Yum.
What is on his face? This is the question I have.
It looks like he just used like canned whipped cream and then added some color down.
Like just icing. Like I think it is actually icing.
Yeah.
Interesting. And not great for like when you go outside with the wasps.
Yes.
No.
Unless it's shaving cream, maybe.
Could be shaving cream.
Maybe it's shaving cream. Yeah, that's a good point.
We'll have to ask him now that he's a friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
In any case, great costume. We want to get your costume pics.
Yeah.
So it's 10-400.
Yeah.
Oh, they're coming in fast and furious, aren't they?
Some text. Yeah. I think we got, who is new one? I have to load it. Oh, yes. Millie sent us a text.
Yay.
Yeah. Someone says, hi, wondering if you received my pictures and text message. I don't know. I'm going to text you back.
Yeah, we got to know who you are.
No.
You got to give us your name and where you're letting us know from. In any case, Amanda's going to be busy. Stay with us.
New number.
Ooh. Okay. All right. You look at they're coming in. We appreciate it. 10-400. So stay with us because Latavia is going to have our weather forecast for Halloween. You need to know the details. And after that, Suzette's with us with spooky snacks. We go trick-or-treating in the YMA kitchen with Suzette and our partners at Chris Brothers. Maybe a sandwich or two.
Warm start to the day over in Halls Harbor. Welcome back. The time now is 7:45. 14 degrees starting off your day. Rain at times heavy expected throughout the day as well in your area. Wind gusts getting up to 70 kilometers per hour. Exactly what we're expecting for much of the region today. A wet and windy Halloween. As of right now, 10 degrees heading outdoors in Fredericton with 11 in Charlottetown. 13 degrees starting off your day in Halifax. 10 degrees over in Sydney with 5 into Labrador City. 7 into Happy Valley Goose Bay and 2 degrees over in Gander. We do still have special weather statements in effect for much of the maritime region. This is for today. We are expecting heavy rain and downpours and strong wind gusts as well. Rainfall warning also remains for parts of New Brunswick as well as Nova Scotia with a wind warning for Inverness County. Could see wind gusts getting up to 120 kilometers per hour. Same thing goes for the Wreck House area over in Newfoundland. Here's a look at this low pressure system and weather fronts moving into our region. In that yellow indicating heavy rain as well as some downpours we're expecting. Pulling moisture up from Melissa. That's why we're going to get those heavier rain and downpours expected across the maritime region. And then as you head out for trick-or-treating, if you are still doing so, we are going to see a bit of clearing for parts of western Nova Scotia and into the southern region of New Brunswick. But we do have another system wrapping around, bringing showers back our way, and those strong wind gusts will remain into early Saturday. If you're wondering about precipitation totals, seeing around 10 to 50 millimeters across much of New Brunswick, 20 to 30 for Prince Edward Island, and the heaviest situated into Nova Scotia at around 50 to 60 millimeters. Over to Newfoundland and Labrador, also seeing totals accumulate there. Looking at 5 to 20 millimeters expected for Labrador, and for Newfoundland, looking at around 2 to 30 millimeters expected. For forecast today for New Brunswick, we are going to see rain at times heavy across the province today. Wind gusts getting up to 60 kilometers per hour. Prince Edward Island looking at highs between 14 to 16 degrees. Also seeing rain throughout your day. For Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, a wet Halloween ahead. Daytime highs ranging from 13 to 18 degrees. And then for the rest of Nova Scotia, rain at times heavy expected throughout your day today with highs between 17 to 18. And then for Newfoundland and Labrador, also seeing wet weather today with a high of 6 degrees in Labrador City, expecting snow and or rain into the evening. A high of 11 degrees for St. John's, Newfoundland, starting off with a mix of sun and cloud early in the morning, increasing cloudiness, seeing rain at times heavy move into the evening. So for trick-or-treating today, we are looking at wet and windy conditions. Keep in mind, we are going to see western parts of the region likely to see the most of the rain through morning to afternoon, and strong wind gusts at around 50 to 80 kilometers per hour for much of the maritime region. So secure your easily damaged decorations. Taking a live look now at the forecast track for Hurricane Melissa. It is continuing to travel up the northeast and accelerating towards the Atlantic Canadian marine region. So for Newfoundland, affecting them, we are expecting it to enter into Newfoundland's waters, passing close to the southeastern Avalon Peninsula late tonight into early Saturday. So a period of heavy rain, strong winds, along with heavy surf is expected in your area. Taking a look at the forecast timeline for Saturday, a bit of a cloudier day ahead. We're still holding on to a chance of some showers for parts of Cape Breton Island. And then for Labrador, looking at, for the most part, snow across that province. And then a chance of showers still remains for parts of Newfoundland. Into our Sunday forecast, we will start to see clouds clear out, leaving a mix of sun and cloud for the most part. Still some lingering showers for Cape Breton. Newfoundland and Labrador still seeing some mixed precipitation for parts of both those provinces, Crystal.
All right, thank you. Look who's here. It's a sandwich, Suzette. Now, we're having a little Halloween party in Your Morning Atlantic. And what's a party without themed food? Suzette, you've made some wonderful spooky treats thanks to our partners at Chris Brothers.
You know what, Crystal? It's Halloween, so maybe it's kind of like a double reason to party today. It's Halloween, but maybe you're having people over for the World Series.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
But you want some spooky foods, right? So this is where our friends at Chris Brothers come into play. And we have some fun, spooky items here. My favorite, the Deli Skelly.
Okay, the deli scale is incredible. I will tell you that Suzette doesn't just do this on TV. She had a wonderful Halloween party this past weekend. Deli Skelly featuring Chris Brothers was in fact served.
It was served.
I had my fill. It was wonderful.
Oh, it's so fun. And really, you just take Chris Brothers deli meats, the pizza packs, the deli combos, and you just fill them in the skeleton. You know, make it like his guts are coming out, a little spooky.
It's amazing.
The Deli Skelly. It's affordable. It's a great way. Yeah, help yourself already.
I'm going to help myself, but I'm also going to just like, oops, I wanted him to be holding the meat. There we go.
Oh.
Yeah,
there you go.
There we go. And we'll give him a little piece of ham.
And give him a little
there
piece
we
of
go.
ham.
We
in
love
his mouth.
that.
There you go.
Okay.
So, Crystal, we're going to make the spider sliders. And we're using Chris Brothers turkey. There's a honey turkey here that we're going to use. There's also a nice hickory turkey. So let's get this. So what?
And healthy.
Yeah,
oh my
it's
gosh.
not
Okay,
bad
wait.
at all.
Is this fresh? I don't know if it's fresh or not.
Yeah, eat up.
Oh, no, I got to test it.
The
It's
honey
perfect.
turkey's really
it's
good.
absolutely perfect. Of
so
course.
what we're going to do is we have these little rolls, and I already sliced them, and we put a bit of cream cheese on them. So I'll get you to put cream cheese on the top one. These are fun. You can do these for your friends if you're having a party or with kids. I just think they look adorable. They're really cute.
They're so adorable.
So then, Crystal, what you want to do, take a bunch of ham, put it on the top.
You like fold the ham up,
Yep,
right?
I fold the ham up. Yep. I love the little eyes. That's my favorite part. But yeah, the meat's so good, the deli meats, and you can get them, these deli meats and all these products anywhere you get your groceries in Atlantic Canada, which is fantastic.
Which it's easy. I now look for it and put the little eyes on.
Nope, here's the trick. Oh,
okay.
See? So I have a few toothpicks in the cream cheese there, Crystal.
Yep.
You'll want, I have them already.
Oh, thank you.
Yep, so just make kind of a few little dots here. Be generous with the cream cheese.
Oh, like dots of cream cheese on here?
Yeah. Like just lay it right on.
Oh, oh, I see what you did.
Yeah,
I see what you did here.
Yeah, just kind of lay it right on there.
Yeah.
Okay, and then take each eye.
Then it's like the icing.
Stick it right on. It's like the
that's
icing.
genius.
And there you have your
And then
little
it's
guy.
savory. Oh, that's really good. And then you jam the pretzels in there.
Yeah, so what you just do is, when you're doing it, you can make another one if you want, because I know the girls in the control room, everyone's going to want one, so you just jam the pretzels right in there for his little legs.
Oh my gosh, these are really, really clever. I love that it's all savory.
It's all savory, and it's all easy things that you can do with Chris Brothers products, and make it really spooky. So over here, Crystal, last night I had fun making these. I used the ham, and there's so many different kinds of ham. You can get 2 different flavors, Black Forest, which I used for this one, maple, beautiful taste.
Oh yeah.
Wrap it up in a bocconcini bowl, make a little slit in the bocconcini, throw in a black olive. Now you have eyeballs, creepy eyeballs.
These are awesome.
How fun is that?
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to pluck one.
Yes, pluck one and try it.
I will try it, but I want to show our people at home. That, again,
olive.
Delicious, but also quite healthy.
Not bad.
This is like these are great, and it's satisfying. So when you come in, you eat a little bit of this, put a layer down before I eat all the candy. Look at how good that is.
Fun. It's so fun, and it's so easy, and you can get these products anywhere, which is what I love about Chris Brothers. And like you said, they're not hard to put together. I put a lot of these products together last night before coming in early this morning, and I thought, you know what, Crystal and I will whip up some of these little
let's finish this
little
one.
spider sliders, because they're so fun. Isn't that cute with the little bocconcini? And I love it. And the ham is tasty and fresh. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, this is awesome. And so again, okay, for people, I mean, I know we're pretty familiar with Chris Brothers at this point, but where do you find these products again?
Anywhere you get your groceries in Atlantic Canada. And there's so many products. You go to the deli meat section and they're just laid out. I was looking yesterday and I thought, what flavors do I want, you know? I love the pizza packs. That's what I used for my deli skelly here.
Well, it's kind of one and done, but
I'm gonna grab this.
I'm really excited about the turkey and the ham. Okay, let's finish up this one. Yep. Thank you, Sid. These are great ideas.
It's fun, eh? And do you like my costume? The sandwich for Chris Brothers?
I'd expect nothing less than pure creativity from you. All right, thanks, Suzette. Thanks, you, Chris Brothers. Now we're going to turn attention over to milestones.
And now we'd like to introduce you to the Maritimers who are marking milestones today.
It is the 70th anniversary for Valerian and Cecilia Marshall of Butladek First Nation in Nova Scotia. 70 years. Congratulations.
Happy anniversary. And now we'd like to introduce you to the Maritimers who are marking milestones tomorrow. It is a 50th anniversary for Fernand and Louise Abe of Petit Rocher, New Brunswick.
It is also 50th anniversary for Melvin and Sandra Himmelman of La Have, Nova Scotia.
Happy anniversary, everyone. And to see your milestone again or find out how to submit one, visit our website by scanning the QR code on your screen. And a reminder, milestones must be received 2 weeks in advance.
Milestones, brought to you by the Berkeley Retirement Residences. Love this stage of life.
Congratulations. The Toronto Blue Jays, okay, they are one win away from capturing their third ever World Series championships. It could happen tonight, and fans are just over the moon.
Well, the year 2025 will be remembered fondly by fans of all ages. CTV's Callum Smith has the story of a trio of local university students who already have lifelong memories from the playoff run.
It's currently 11:41 Atlantic time.
Left at 8:30.
Left at 8:30 p.m. We just passed Salisbury, New Brunswick.
It was an overnight trip to Toronto for Game 1 of the World Series.
We all watched the Springer home run, Game 7 of the prior series. And we all watched together like, yeah, we got to go. And pack the bags.
These three St. FX University students from Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and Alberta set out for the trip of a lifetime.
This doesn't look like any of this.
This isn't any good.
They went without tickets, but with a lot of hope.
We went and talked with everybody we absolutely could, and we just kind of thought, well, maybe we'll get lucky and somehow get tickets. We were hoping some company would donate us tickets.
Including an interview with CTV.
We're students, so we're trying to mull around a little bit, see if we can get any connections here to get cheap tickets. Otherwise, we'll probably go to a local sports bar.
But it ended up being the generosity of a fan from Connecticut who gifted them 3 tickets.
Caleb goes, how much are you selling them for? Because everyone was trying to sell tickets. And he was like, no, free. And we were like, no, come on, like how much? And then he's like, free, come in right now.
Memories that will last a lifetime.
Game 1 of the World Series in Toronto alone is something I don't think any of us would have forgot. The fact that we not only drove there from Nova Scotia on a whim last minute, but managed to get tickets by the generosity of a stranger is just something that, we will never forget.
These students know they won't be buying tickets for Game 6, which started around $2,000.
As a student, I think I'd have to skip a month of meals.
Still, they're contemplating one more road trip.
I think it would be electric to be just in the area the same way we thought for Game 1. We only have a few hours to decide.
So while the Blue Jays come home with a 3-2 series lead, looking to capture their 3rd World Series title on Friday, whether or not these students go back is a game-time decision. Callum Smith, CTV News, Halifax.
For Halloween in New Brunswick, we're looking at a high of 14 degrees, rain at times heavy. Wet weather for parts of the province on Saturday with a high of 10. And then into Sunday, 7 degrees with sunshine returning, but isolated showers also for the northern region. Nova Scotia looking at wet weather as well today. Rain at times heavy with a high of 16. 10 degrees on Saturday, mainly cloudy skies with some scattered showers for parts of the province. On Sunday, cloudy skies for the most part, scattered showers for Cape Breton. Prince Edward Island looking at a high of 16 degrees today with rain across the island. Wet weather continues on Saturday with a high of 10. 8 degrees on Sunday. Scattered showers expected.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
It's Friday, October 31st. Today on Your Morning Atlantic, the New Brunswick government is set to scrap the carbon adjuster tax in December, which will result in cheaper gas prices. Your top news headlines and today's price adjustment just ahead.
And chilling tales of spirits and beyond. Author Vernon Oikel joins us with even more ghost stories from Nova Scotia. A fun conversation coming up on CTV's Your Morning Atlantic. You're not in Kansas anymore. You're on CTV's Your Morning Atlantic. We're just so excited. We know Amanda loved Wicked, and I love The Wizard of Oz. So excited that Neptune's doing that as their holiday show this year. So you
got inspired.
You got inspired. You got these costumes that glow when you went earlier this week. Go Halloween.
It was fun times, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is such a good Glinda costume.
Thank you.
So good. Glinda
Throwing it back.
Good.
Yep.
Look at the crown. It lights up.
Amazing.
I know. And I have
Dorothy.
There's
and
Toto.
my little dog too. I know it's the wrong breed, but it's the only dog toy we had in the house.
That's okay.
It's so
It
cute.
works.
Oh my
It is
gosh.
so cute. Listen, I'll go down the yellow brick road with you two a little later.
Looking forward to that.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
In the meantime, it is weather not with factoring in, not unlike what Dorothy was experiencing in Kansas some time ago.
Absolutely. We are going to see a wet and windy Halloween today, something to keep in mind when you are heading out. Here's a live look at Bedeck. Seeing a bit of sunshine early this morning, a bit of cloud coverage as well. We are expecting wet weather to make its way over to you as well, so keep that in mind. You may want to allot some extra time out on your morning commute. Now, it is a warmer start to the day for parts of the Maritime region. 11 degrees heading outdoors in Fredericton, Charlottetown, and Sydney. 13 in Halifax. 4 degrees over in St. John's, Newfoundland. We do still have special weather statements in effect for parts of all 3 maritime provinces, as well as a rainfall warning in effect for parts of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. Holding on to that wind warning in Inverness County, as well as into the Wreck House area of Newfoundland. Here's a look at that system on our satellite and radar, the yellow indicating heavy rain, as well as some downpours, and this will continue to move across the Maritime region, making its way over to Newfoundland and Labrador. Wind will remain pretty gusty today. We're looking at sustained winds right now, 59 kilometers per hour in Lunenburg, 43 into St. John, New Brunswick, 39 in Canso, 48 in Halifax. Wind gusts getting up to 69 kilometers per hour right now in Lunenburg, 70 in Halifax, and 48 in Canso, 57 into Yarmouth. We'll have another look at your long-range forecast just ahead, but first a look at your local news headlines with Amanda.
Thank you, Glinda. Latavia. We began with a power outage in Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia Power is reporting about 5,000 customers are off the grid this hour, mostly in peninsular Halifax. On the utilities website, they're giving a restoration time of 9:30 this morning. It's also worth noting that some traffic lights are also out because of this outage, which is having an impact on the morning commute. We'll continue to follow this developing story throughout the morning. Also new this morning, a big increase at the pumps overnight. In Nova Scotia, Zone 1, gas increased by 4.5 cents. The minimum price now $1.40.3 a litre. And diesel increased by 1.3 cents. The minimum price now $1.66. In PEI, gas increased by just over a cent. The minimum price now $1.45 a litre. And diesel jumped by 5.2 cents. The minimum price $1.64.8. And in New Brunswick, gas increased by 3.4 cents. The maximum price $1.52.1. And diesel surged by 9.5 cents. The maximum price now $1.79. Meantime, the price New Brunswickers will pay at the gas pumps in December should be about 8 cents cheaper following a tax cut.
We made a clear commitment to remove the cost of carbon adjuster to provide real relief at the gas pumps.
Premier Susan Holt says the carbon adjuster tax will be gone starting December 1st. The tax was introduced in 2022 and passes the cost of federal clean fuel regulations for refiners and retailers onto consumers. Holt had promised during last year's election campaign to remove the tax. However, the decision doesn't come without criticism. Retailers say someone's got to pay the difference.
Thinking that you can remove 7-8 cents and that there would be no impacts on retailers is ludicrous. You know, like the cost of this regulation is real.
New Brunswick fuel retailers issued a joint statement saying this move could threaten the closure of up to 25% of gas stations, especially in rural areas. Susan Holt says the Energy and Utilities Board will need to make adjustments. As Latavia has been saying throughout the morning, it's going to be a very wet and windy Halloween. Because of the forecast, some communities are celebrating on different days. For example, in Cape Breton, Membertou First Nation and the village of St. Peter's moved trick-or-treating to last night. Others are providing indoor options, like at local legions, community halls, even the McCurdy Sydney Airport. And municipalities moving trick-or-treating to tomorrow. Those include Charlottetown, Summerside, and Bathurst, to name a few. As the wildfire season officially winds down, there was some well-deserved recognition for firefighters in the New Brunswick legislature. The men and women who stepped up in the firefight in an extremely challenging year received a formal thank you yesterday.
We're talking, almost 2 solid months of firefighting. along with, the work that comes after the fires are out. You still have to get all your equipment out.
We're very humbled to be invited here. Due to our training and preparedness level, we were able to tackle what we had, and we're able to overcome it. And slowly, like as the season now winds up, we're able to now kind of look back and a lot of lessons learned.
438 wildfires were recorded in New Brunswick this year, burning more than 3,400 hectares of forest. The season officially ends today. A well-known Canadian had Maritimers seeing stars last night.
There you go. Live long and prosper. Thank you.
Some Trekkies there too. Astronaut Chris Hadfield was the star attraction at this exclusive sold-out event at Indigo Halifax and Bears Lake. Hadfield is promoting Final Orbit, the newest book in his Apollo Murders series. Maritimers gave him a warm welcome last night.
We came here to see Chris Hadfield, one of Canada's great, role models for young men and women. A man that forged a way through Canada Space Agency and made multiple trips in space.
Hadfield's next appearance is in Winnipeg, followed by Calgary and then Vancouver. Finally, you saw the hats there at those fans last night. Jays fans are very excited, looking forward to tonight to see if those Jays can get that one more win to claim the World Series at home. Now, the Jays defeated the Dodgers in LA. That was Wednesday night to lead the Fall Classic 3-2. The lone Canadian baseball team will now try to win Game 6 tonight in order to hoist the Commissioner's Trophy in front of a sold-out crowd at Rogers Centre. Millions of fans will also be watching from right across the country. Team manager John Schneider says it is likely that slugger George Springer will be back in the starting lineup. And a Game 7 is set for Saturday, tomorrow, if necessary. But if the Jays win tonight, I mean, that's it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What a time. I am going to wish. I'm going to do this right now. Can you see? There we go.
Yeah.
May the Jays win the game. May the Jays win the game.
There you
May
go.
the Jays win the game. We need this.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And
the ruby slippers.
The ruby slippers, the fact that you have those ready to go.
These are my own. These were not purchased. Anyway, let's give a shout out to the creative grade 5 students at the École de Portage School in Lower Sackville, Nova Scotia, who made their own haunted house.
Oh, yeah.
So much fun. A shout out to these fun-spirited students and their dedicated teachers for making this haunted house happen. Thanks for sharing these images with us.
Incredible.
And the old spaghetti in the bag.
Oh, yeah.
That's a trick. Oh, that one never gets old. Anyway, thanks for sharing this. So much fun. Yeah. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Oh, très bien. C'est l'Halloween. C'est l'Halloween. Hey, remember that one from school. All right, still ahead on this show, so much more to come, including a chat with author Vernon Oikel about his scary new book of ghost stories. But first, it is your Halloween forecast, which is scary of its own. A wet and windy day at Peggy's Cove. Latavia has your full forecast, and I'll have your national news headlines right after this.
Welcome back. The time now is 8:13. We're taking a live look at Lockport. A wet start to the day. Rain at times heavy expected throughout your day today. A current temperature of 16 degrees. Weather is brought to you by ALC.ca, and we're seeing a warmer start to the end of the work week for much of the Maritime region, at least. As of right now, 11 degrees heading outdoors in Fredericton, as well as Charlottetown and Sydney. 13 degrees heading outdoors in Halifax. 17 over in Yarmouth. 5 degrees in Labrador City, and 5 also into St. John's, Newfoundland. Taking a look at our special weather statement that remains in effect for much of the Maritime region, expecting heavy rain and downpours today with gusty winds. Rainfall warning also remains for parts of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. And for our wind warning in Inverness County, we are expecting wind gusts getting up to 120 kilometers per hour. Same thing goes for the Wreck House area in Newfoundland. Taking a look at our forecast timeline, you can see the system we're currently dealing with along with weather fronts. The yellow indicates heavier rain and downpours expected. Into the afternoon, much of the same heavy rain expected for much of the Maritime region. As we head out for trick-or-treating at around 6:15, we're expecting some clearing for western Nova Scotia and into the southwestern region of New Brunswick. But we do have another system wrapping back around, bringing a chance of showers into the evening hours. If you're wondering about precipitation totals, we're looking at around 10 to 50 millimeters for much of Nova Scotia and looking at around 50 to 60 millimeters in Lunenburg. That's the heaviest expected, as well as into Shelburne. For New Brunswick, we're looking at around 10 to 50 millimeters across the province. And then for Prince Edward Island, 20 to 30 millimeters across Prince Edward Island, as I mentioned. For Newfoundland and Labrador, we're seeing around 5 to 20 millimeters of precipitation and 5 to 30 across Newfoundland. Taking a look at our forecast today for New Brunswick, highs will range from 10 to 16 degrees. Rain at times heavy expected with wind gusts getting up to 60 kilometers per hour. Highs between 14 to 16 for Prince Edward Island, wind gusts getting up to 60 kilometers per hour as well. And then for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, rain throughout the day, highs between 13 to 18 degrees. And the rest of Nova Scotia looking at rain at times heavy as well, 17 to 18 degrees. For Newfoundland and Labrador, seeing wet weather for Labrador City with a high of 5, transitioning over to snow and or rain into the evening, and a mix of sun and clouds starts off the day for St. John's, and then increasing cloudiness and heavy rain into the evening. For our trick-or-treating forecast, we're advising wet, strong windy conditions expected for the western part of the region, likely to see rain moving through morning into afternoon, and wind gusts getting extremely strong, could get up to 80 kilometers per hour. So we're advising you to secure those decorations. Now we'll take a look at the latest forecast track for Hurricane Melissa. It is continuing to travel northeast and accelerating towards Atlantic Canadian marine region. The biggest contribution from Melissa, as I'd mentioned, is going to be in the form of moisture being pulled up by our front. And Melissa is expected to continue northeastward into Newfoundland waters, passing close to the southeastern Avalon Peninsula. So taking a look at our forecast timeline for Saturday, we do have a cloudy day ahead for the most part, but we are seeing a chance of showers still lingering across parts of Cape Breton Island. For Labrador, seeing mixed precipitation, and for Newfoundland, looking at some showers across parts of the province. Into Sunday, we start to see a bit of clearing of those clouds, leaving a mix of sun and cloud, and then also seeing a chance of showers remain for parts of Cape Breton, Newfoundland, and Labrador, still holding on to mixed precipitation. That's a look at your weather forecast. We'll throw things over to Amanda for your national and international news headlines.
Thank you, Latavia. It's 8:17. In Jamaica, emergency crews still trying to reach some areas devastated and cut off by Hurricane Melissa. CTV's Abigail Beeman now on what Canada is doing to help.
This family fights tears, surveying damage to their home in coastal Black River.
If we had stayed, we'd have died.
While feeling fortunate to find a mattress to sleep on.
Even though they are soaking wet, but we can lean them up with the water can and drain out. If we even sit up, we will manage. We will manage.
Hurricane Melissa has killed dozens and caused massive destruction across Jamaica, Haiti, and Cuba.
Today, our government is providing $7 million in humanitarian assistance.
That promise includes $5 million for humanitarian partners providing aid such as sanitation and clean water, and $2 million for the World Food Program. The government says Canada hasn't received any requests for military or personnel help, but is ready and waiting.
We're standing with the Caribbean today, and we'll be here tomorrow to help rebuild stronger, safer, and more resilient.
We think this is going to be a little worse than what the initial reports are looking like.
Global Medic has portable water purification units and family emergency kits en route to Jamaica and is offering drone mapping services. Rahul Singh says being on an island poses additional challenges.
There's less infrastructure and less capacity for folks to go to. And then with the flooding, and then the flooding sitting there, you've got to get rid of that water.
CTV's Abigail Beeman reporting. King Charles has stripped his brother, Prince Andrew, of his remaining royal titles and evicted him from his residence. The move follows growing pressure over Andrew's ties to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. British historian George Gross says Buckingham Palace is trying to distance the monarchy from Andrew's scandals. The former royal will now be simply known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. Earlier this month, he surrendered his title, Duke of York, amid renewed allegations tied to Epstein victim Virginia Giuffre, whose memoir was published last week. Please stay with us here on Your Morning Atlantic. A quick break. When we return, we will hear from chilling ghost tales from Nova Scotia with a local author. That's coming up next.
Move Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Weekday mornings on Move 100. The most fun in the morning. And home of the $1,000 minute. Only on Move 100 Halifax.
The sensational Sarah McLachlan, live in concert, celebrating 30 years of fumbling towards ecstasy. Live at Scotiabank Centre, November 4th. Get tickets now at evenco.ca.
Welcome back. It's 8:22. Now, Atlantic Canada's culture is filled with a number of ghost stories. Our next guest has written about many of them. Author Vernon Oikle drove in from Liverpool this morning in the wind and rain to join us live in studio for this chilling and spooky interview. We're very thrilled to have him in with us. Vernon, thanks for making the effort today.
Thank you. And it was chilly and miserable and windy and rainy. It was dark.
The thing that ghost stories are made of.
Absolutely, and it's Halloween, so
it's perfect.
So the atmosphere is perfect for this.
Tell us about your latest book.
Sure. This one is this is a sequel to one that came out in 2019 called More Ghost Stories of Nova Scotia, so which was a sequel to Ghost Stories of Nova Scotia.
Yes.
So yeah, this one came out. It's just out now. It's just fresh on the shelves, September. And it's a collection like the other ones. It's a collection of true ghost stories, paranormal events from all over Nova Scotia. I took great care in trying to make sure I represented many regions of the province, the South Shore, and there's Halifax and Cape Breton and the Valley. So, there's a mishmash of stories in there, stuff that people seem to like.
So true stories, interesting. Yeah. I know that you grew up around ghost stories. That's why you started to document them.
Exactly. Well, I grew up in rural Nova Scotia, Liverpool, and my family was, particularly on my mother's side of my family, was big into superstitions and ghosts, and it was often a topic of conversation, particularly superstitions in our household, and so I just grew up with an interest in the material, and then when I became a journalist and started researching the material, it just seemed natural to turn this stuff into books.
Well, I can't wait to read the latest book. I love ghost stories. I'll read the book, then I'll tell the ghost stories to other people.
Yeah.
I remember my husband's grandma, Marion McClellan, she loved the Forerunners.
Oh, yeah.
She had great stories about the Forerunners, and you were saying you like that, too.
Yeah. I think of all the paranormal experiences that I've researched, written about, and talk about in my presentations, Forerunners. I mean, the Forerunners are, for those who don't know, are a sign of death, right?
Okay.
It's a forewarning. If you see a Forerunner, it's really meant to tell you, listen, be ready within 3 days. Something tragic is going to happen, and probably to somebody that you know, maybe a member of the family. But as the name suggests, it's a foreboding, a forewarning, sort of a foreshadowing of something that's going to happen.
Okay, in our interpretation, this is Grandma was from Big Grandma, we called her, from Cape Breton. Although she was a very tiny woman, we called her Big Grandma. Forerunner just meant like a foretelling of the future.
Well, that is a foretelling of the future, right?
Yeah, but not necessarily death. Like
no.
Just like something's going to happen.
A lot of the superstitions in rural communities deal with death, signs of death.
Yes.
And they come from tragic circumstances and events, and people talk about them, and then it seems we're always looking for an explanation for when something happens. So. Someone might say, "Oh my gosh, this morning a bird hit my window."
Right.
And so they correlate the two, and there becomes the belief, the superstition that if a bird hits the window,
right,
it's a sign of because think about it. Centuries ago, when we didn't have science that we have today, people were looking for explanations about why things happen. They turned to nature and the environment to look for things like cycles of plants, cycles of animals. What were they telling them? The cycles of the moon, like when to plant your potatoes and things.
Interesting.
So, yeah. Well, they relied on their instincts and the world they knew, which was natural.
We probably only have about a minute left, so I wanted to ask you a couple more questions before we go. I mean, you're doing a great job of documenting the culture and the history of our region. We've only got 20 seconds left, so I'm going to ask you a direct question.
Yep.
Have you ever experienced a ghost or paranormal thing happen
I have.
to you? Really?
I personally have experienced a forerunner. It's a great story. It's in my forerunner book.
Okay.
And I don't have time to tell it today because it's really long. But yeah, I have. And I'll just tell you this: when I do presentations, I'm always asked, "Do you believe in ghosts?" And I always say, "Look, listen, I don't not believe because I have had things that happen to me, and I encourage people to keep an open mind and don't always look for answers."
Okay. Well, you know what you can look for? Great stories.
Exactly.
And that's where you can find it. Can you hold the book real quick?
Sure can.
Even more ghost stories. Vernon Oyka. We put a link to Vernon's website on ours so you can find out more or get that Forerunners book and hear about your experiences.
Yeah.
In any case, Latavia, this is right up your alley.
Absolutely, Crystal. And with the wet weather and windy conditions, I'd definitely read a ghost story today. For New Brunswick, a high of 14 degrees, rain at times heavy. And on Saturday, wet weather for parts of the province. And on Sunday, isolated showers expected for the northern region, but sunshine for the rest of the province, cooling to 7 degrees. For Nova Scotia on Halloween, we're looking at rain at times heavy as well, with a high of 16 degrees. On Saturday, mainly cloudy skies with some scattered showers for parts of the province, a high of 10. Clocks fall back on Sunday, a high of 7. Cloudy skies for most of the province, looking at scattered showers for Cape Breton Island. Prince Edward Island on Halloween, looking at a high of 16. Rain across the island. Saturday, wet weather continues, and into Sunday, scattered showers with a high of 8.
Wait, are these all Big Brother? We hope to haunt these teens in their nightmares. Go!
The Amazing Race, all new Wednesday on CTV. Stream next day on Crave.
They say it's always a great day at White Point, but it's certainly a wet and windy one, too. Latavia has one last look at your Halloween forecast for the last day of October. That's coming up in the last 30 minutes of Your Morning Atlantic.
Happy Halloween, Atlantic Canada. The time now is 8:31. We still have a half hour of fun and spooky tales to tell.
It's been, you know what? This is like one of the rare times I just don't want the show to end. It's been so much fun. I'm really enjoying our Halloween party today.
And we still have some more fun to come in the last 30 minutes. Maybe I'll join you in the costume party.
After news.
Absolutely.
You gotta
maybe.
Keep it serious for news.
Yeah, keep it serious. And we have some power outages too this morning.
My husband was just texting me like the street beside us is out. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, I'll tell you all the restoration times, and we'll look at those details coming up.
Well, I'll just tell you, the last time there was a big storm, our whole house went up in the air, it whirled around, and I landed in this crazy place.
Well, oh my God, where did you go?
It was called the Land of Oz.
Oh my God.
I know. I'll tell you about it later. In the meantime, what's happening in our region?
Well, it is going to be quite windy across the region today. Wet conditions as well, something to keep in mind when you are heading out early this morning. It is a warmer start to the day for much of the maritime region, a bit cooler for parts of Newfoundland and Labrador, but prepare for that wet weather to be sticking around on this Halloween. Taking a look at our current temperatures, 11 degrees starting off your day in Fredericton as well as Charlottetown and Sydney, 13 in Halifax, 7 into Happy Valley, Goose Bay, 3 degrees in Gander, and 5 into St. John's. Over to the special weather statements in effect for much of the Maritimes today. We are expecting heavy rain and downpours as well as gusty winds. Rainfall warning in effect for parts of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, with that wind warning remaining for Inverness County as well as into the Wreck House area of Newfoundland. Over to our satellite and radar, you can see that wet weather tracking across parts of the Maritime region will continue to spread east. That yellow indicating heavier rain and some downpours expected. Wind already picking up for the Maritime region as of right now, looking at sustained wind, 59 kilometers per hour into Yarmouth, 56 into Grand Etang with 43 in Yarmouth. 43 in Yarmouth, 59 in Lunenburg. They're getting so high, I can't even keep count, basically. Wind gusts right now, 76 kilometers per hour in Grand Etang, 69 in Halifax as well as Lunenburg, 65 into Yarmouth. We'll have one last look at your long-range forecast, but first, one last look at your local news headlines with Amanda.
That weather looking like Madame Morrible's work. All right, we begin with the wet and windy weather in peninsular Halifax. There's actually a power outage impacting about 5,000 Nova Scotia power customers. The utility's website says power should be restored by 9:30 a.m. That's an estimate. This is also impacting the morning commute. Some traffic lights are also out, making for extra four-way stops. Elsewhere, the weather has also canceled ferry service across the region. And as Latavia mentioned, it's going to be very wet and windy tonight as well. So because of the forecast, some communities are celebrating Halloween on different days. For example, in Cape Breton, Member 2 First Nation and the village of St. Peter's moved trick-or-treating to last night. Others are providing indoor options for the little ones, like at Legion's, community halls, and at the McCurdy Sydney Airport. Municipalities are also moving trick-or-treating, in some cases, to tomorrow. Those communities include Charlottetown, Summerside, and Bathurst, to name a few. Nova Scotia Power is turning to technology to help fix an old problem, which is falling branches and trees taking down lines. The company says it will be using artificial intelligence to help crews determine where and when to cut back the greenery. Information will come from high-resolution satellites orbiting the Earth.
Producing that snapshot of our entire system really enables us to focus in on those high-risk areas. So, you know, it's important to know where we need to be, but it's also equally important to know where we don't need to be.
Obviously, with our number one outage cause being trees, this just helps us be more efficient with the funds and budget that we do work with.
The power company says the $3 million project will be fully implemented next year. Quite the increase when it comes to prices at the pumps overnight, beginning with Nova Scotia Zone 1, the Halifax area. Gas increased by 4.5 cents. The minimum price now $1.40.3. And diesel increased by 1.3 cents. The minimum price $1.66. In PEI, gas increased by just over a cent. The minimum price $1.45 a litre. Diesel jumped by 5.2 cents. The minimum price $1.64.8. And in New Brunswick, gas increased by 3.4 cents. The maximum price $1.52.1, and diesel surged by 9.5 cents. The maximum price $1.79 a litre. And the price New Brunswickers will pay at the gas pumps in December should be about 8 cents cheaper after a tax cut.
We made a clear commitment to remove the cost of carbon adjuster to provide real relief at the gas pumps.
Premier Susan Holt says the carbon adjuster tax will be gone starting December 1st. The tax was introduced in 2022 and passes the cost of federal clean fuel regulations for refiners and retailers onto consumers. Holt had promised during last year's election campaign to remove the tax. However, the decision does not come without criticism. Some retailers say someone's got to pay.
Thinking that you can remove 7-8 cents and that there would be no impacts on retailers is ludicrous. You know, like the cost of this regulation is real.
New Brunswick fuel retailers issued a joint statement saying this move could threaten the closure of up to 25% of gas stations, especially in rural areas. Holt says the Energy and Utilities Board will need to make adjustments. Fans across the country are buzzing as the Toronto Blue Jays are looking for one more win to claim the World Series at home. The Jays defeated the Dodgers in LA Wednesday night to lead the Fall Classic 3-2. The lone Canadian baseball team will now try to win Game 6 tonight in Toronto in order to hoist the Commissioner's Trophy in front of a sold-out crowd at Rogers Centre. And, of course, in front of millions of fans watching from home. Team manager John Schneider says it is likely that George Springer will be back in the starting lineup. Game 7 is set for Saturday, if necessary. Finally, we know it is Halloween today, but we are going to look ahead to the holidays because Nova Scotia's tree for Boston has been chosen, and this is what it looks like. It's 13.7 meters high, or 45 feet high. It's a white spruce, and it comes from Lunenburg County. It was nominated by the former property owners, Ronald and Claire Feener, who planted the tree over 40 years ago. So it's going to be cut down on the morning of Wednesday, November 12th in Martinsbrook. And the tree lighting ceremony will take place the evening of Thursday, December 4th in the Boston Common. Of course, every holiday season, Nova Scotia sends a tree to Boston as a thank you for their help following the Halifax explosion back in 1917.
This is a tradition I just love so much. It's kindness, giving kindness, and I just love the whole journey of the tree and the generosity of the people who donate the tree, and oh, lovely stuff.
Yeah, it's a good tradition to keep going.
Mm-hmm. Okay, a reminder that if you want to follow the Yellowbrick Road to the Wizard of Oz, you can do so at Neptune Theatre. The show is on stage from November 4th to January 4th, and it's a family-friendly musical featuring your songs from the classic movie. It's guaranteed to be a wickedly good time for all. So the show is a direct stage adaptation of the classic movie, directed by Cape Breton-based Michelle Langell, and the cast is almost entirely based in the East Coast, including Shadow the dog as Toto. So if you're planning on seeing Wicked for good, you can be sure to catch The Wizard of Oz first, so you're refreshed on both sides of the story. You can get your tickets today at NeptuneTheater.com because they're selling out faster than a Wicked Witch melting after being doused by a bucket of water.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't see the movie, you know what I'm talking about.
I mean, but is she really wicked?
Oh, there you go.
No.
That is
discussed.
Plot twist.
That is the debate, and we already have our tickets.
We do,
Yes,
actually.
we do,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, they do so quickly. Yeah. Okay, what's going on? What else is going on in our region?
Yeah, we'll take a look at our community calendar so you can come out and experience Halloween Hullabaloo. That's in Cambridge Narrows in New Brunswick. There will be a guided walk through haunted halls, candy tables, monster mash dance party, games, a photo booth, and much more. The event takes place on today and kicks off at 5 p.m. at Nove's Place. For more information, head over to their Facebook event page just to make sure it's not canceled as well.
I think I organized this. It sounds perfect.
Right? And you can gather your bravest family and friends for a spine-tingling evening of storytelling, shadows, and strange sightings on a spooky walk in Charlottetown. It's an immersive experience, and it's brought to life through a unique collaboration between Confederation Center of the Arts, Education and Heritage Program. So the Ghost Walks will run until November 1st. So for additional information, you can head over to their website. And get ready for a frightfully fun night at the Discovery Center in Halifax. Science, spirits, and booze will be an equally eerie and thrilling Halloween party, 19+. Party kicks off, yes, tonight at 9 p.m. To purchase tickets, head over to their website, and all proceeds raised actually goes towards the Discovery Center's Youth Empowerment and Science programs.
Ooh, what a fun idea.
Yeah, very incredible. And if you do have an upcoming event, please send us the details. Your Morning Atlantic at ctv.ca. All right, stick with us, 8:41. We'll be right back after this.
You okay in there?
Mom.
17 still needs mom. Do you think it's a UTI like last year?
Probably.
You meet the criteria. I'm going to book you an appointment with the pharmacist.
Book an appointment with your pharmacist to assess and treat a UTI and so much more.
Glitter everywhere. I have glitter everywhere. All right, we're taking a look now at Clark's Harbor. 16 degrees early this morning and wet start to your day. Heavy rain, strong wind gusts. Keep that in mind when you are heading out this Halloween. Time now is 8:44, and we are seeing a warmer start to the day for much of the region. As of right now, 11 degrees in Fredericton as well as into Charlottetown and Sydney. 13 starting off your day in Halifax with 7 degrees over in Happy Valley, Goose Bay. 5 into St. John's in Newfoundland. Still seeing special weather statements in effect for much of the Maritime region. We're expecting heavy rain, downpours, and strong wind gusts today. A rainfall warning also in effect for parts of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. With that wind warning that remains in Inverness County, we could see wind gusts of up to 120 kilometers per hour. Same thing goes for the Wreck House area in Newfoundland. Over to our forecast timeline. So we are seeing this precipitation really tracking across much of the Maritimes as of right now. The yellow indicating heavy downpours expected. Into the time that we go trick-or-treating, we will be starting to see a bit of clearing. However, we do have another system that will wrap back around, bringing wet weather to us into late tonight, early Saturday morning, starting to slowly clear out. If you're wondering about precipitation totals, we're looking at around 10 to 50 millimeters, seeing the heaviest into St. Stephen for New Brunswick, 20 to 30 across Prince Edward Island, and around 10 to 50 millimeters for much of Nova Scotia, but we could see 50 to 60 for Lunenburg and Shelburne. Over to Newfoundland and Labrador, also seeing totals accumulate. We're looking at around 5 to 20 millimeters for Labrador and around 2 to 30 for Newfoundland. For our forecast today in New Brunswick, looking at wet weather throughout the day today. Rain at times heavy with strong wind gusts of up to 60 kilometers per hour. Highs between 14 to 16 degrees for Prince Edward Island. Also seeing wet weather throughout your day. For Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, same thing applies. Wind gusts getting up to 70 kilometers per hour and seeing that wet weather throughout your day as well. For the rest of Nova Scotia, heavy rain expected today with wind gusts of up to 70 kilometers per hour. Seeing wet weather for Labrador City as well with a high of 5 and 11 degrees for St. John's, Newfoundland. Seeing mainly cloudy skies into the afternoon. Rain at times heavy into the evening. So for our trick-or-treating forecast, keep in mind wet and extremely windy conditions. And we're asking you to secure your easily damaged decorations, as we are going to see around 50 to 80 kilometers per hour for wind gusts. Now to the latest hurricane track for Hurricane Melissa. It's going to continue to track northeast towards the Atlantic Canadian Marine region. And the biggest contribution from Melissa will be in the form of moisture that's being pushed northward from that storm and will get caught up in that front we're expecting. It will also continue northeastward into Newfoundland waters, passing close to the southeastern Avalon Peninsula. What that means is a period of heavy rain, strong winds, along with heavy surf expected. And then taking a look at our forecast timeline into the weekend, a cloudier day ahead for much of the maritime region. Parts of Cape Breton Island still holding on to some precipitation, a chance of showers throughout the day. And then for Labrador, looking at periods of snow and or rain. And for Newfoundland, wet weather for much of that province. Into Saturday evening, starting to see a bit of clearing, and then into early Sunday, we'll start to see those clouds clear out, leaving a bit more sunshine, still holding on to precipitation for Cape Breton and Newfoundland and Labrador, mixed precipitation expected. All right, now we're going to throw things back and take a look at the maritime mysteries.
Thanks, Latavia. It's 8:47. Now, long-term viewers of CTV Atlantic will no doubt remember Maritime Mysteries. The incredibly popular series by master storyteller Bill Jessam took us around the Maritimes for eerie tales of ghosts and specters and unexplained happenings. Today is the perfect time to dip into our video vault for one of these stories. Here is the late Bill Jessam with the story of the Brooklyn Ghost.
There are people in this world who, when entering a room, feel a chill sweeping over them. These are the people that have the uncanny ability of sensing something wrong in that room, perhaps of a tragic nature. And these are the same people who feel that the victim spirit is trapped within that space. If that is so, let the journey begin to this 200-year-old general store where perhaps such a tragedy occurred. Some 200 years ago, in this place known as Brooklyn, Nova Scotia, this general store was first opened. To most, the memory of the former owners are lost in the past, but not this general store. It has survived all that right down to today's owner, Gloria Burbage, who bought the store in 1984. It wasn't long before Gloria and her family realized that something else was included in the purchase, a ghost. This became evident when the Burbages began renovating the store. Things were mysteriously being moved around at night, and there were also peculiar noises.
I remember opening early one morning, and I went to the bottom of the steps and listened because it sounded like the computer was going. And then I sort of went about my business, and Mom came in to work at 7:30, and I said, "Gee, Mom, Hector's busy this morning." I said, "He's got the computer going," and I didn't think any more of it. And then sometime after 10 o'clock, it would have been, I was signing up a new customer in the video shop, and the membership form spits out. Well, there was nothing on the paper, and the computer ribbon was completely in shreds. The night before, we had done a night-end report off, so it was working then. I don't know what explanation there is for it.
Gloria Burbage and her family and staff all have a sense of humor, so they just couldn't refer to the spirit as just that. So they christened him Hector. Now, in an attempt to get to the bottom of this mystery, the owner called in a psychic who spent a lot of time in the basement and the storeroom. She told Gloria that she had a strong feeling that Hector was a woodsman because of the strong smell of wood. Then, Gloria took the psychic up to the attic area.
Right at the top of the steps by the mirror, She said that she really felt his presence there. She said that this was a person, she said, I smell a strong soapy smell, and she said this person loved to party and dance. She said, but he was unhappy in love. And she said that she could see a woman looking out of a big window with the sunlight in her face. And shortly after that, she was overcome, and she said, I can't stay here any longer.
Gloria's research of the former owners of the store did not give any clues as to who the ghost really is, or was. Some suggest he might be one of the owners, or a customer who died before scoring up accounts with the owner. Whatever ghosts are, they do seem real to a lot of people. Whoever they are and why they have returned from the other side is a question that baffles the experts of the paranormal. In the meantime, everybody loves a good ghost story, and who knows what we'll find the next time behind the closed door. For Maritime Mysteries, I'm Bill Jessen.
This is gonna be fun.
Let's start the show.
Look who joined us.
I thought I went to the costume party.
Absolutely incredible.
Genius. The straw cuffs are fantastic.
I know. You know what? I'm kind of loving this.
It's awesome.
It looks great.
Yeah, a little bit. I had to join the party. Okay, we want to share your photos of your costume.
Oh my gosh, what the heck's going on here? I love it.
Mother Nature. This is Mina from Hammonds Plains. Thank you for the photo.
Good job, Mina.
Then trip back in time. This is from Karen in Dartmouth, going back 50 years. She says, my children in their costumes many years ago.
Aww,
love that.
so
love that's in the
nice.
frame. This is Shannon from Bedford. This is me 2 years ago. My office as FBI technical analyst Penelope Garcia from TV's Criminal Minds.
Ooh,
love that.
I love it.
2 photos from Anna Marie Boyd. My favorite costumes this year, which this year is the witch one, and then last year, which is the next one, that's the Day of the Dead.
Oh, awesome.
Both really good.
Tomorrow and Sunday. This is Millie from Fredericton. My Plague Doctor costume is my favorite. Some cute ones, too. Dawn from Cole Harbor. This is Skylar being abducted by an alien. And then we have 2, Patty sent this to us. These are her grandchildren, Brody and Malia.
Really good.
And some dogs. This is Lenny. Well, actually, this one's Georgie from Moncton. 2 photos of Georgie from Moncton.
Oh, my goodness.
Love it. Oh
then we have Lenny, who is adorable as well. Oh, maybe I don't have it. Okay, here we go.
That's awesome.
Crystal from Westport. This is how she greeted her children.
Oh my gosh, what a fun. Thank you so much for sending these photos. You made our day so good.
Yeah, there were so many, and I tried to get as many of them on I could, so thank you to everyone who sent a photo.
Incredible.
And we hope you guys have a great Halloween.
Yes, happy Halloween, everyone.
See you Monday. Have a
Stay
great
dry.
week. Yes.
Bye.